Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. I'm going to warn you right now, you're going to hear a low-level hum throughout this entire show. And it's not me oming. It's not me doing any sort of meditation, although I should, right? I should get centered. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should find my chakra for you people. Or my chakra. Maybe I should shock me, like Ace Frehley. Is it a chakra? It's a chakra Khan. Chakra Khan? Chakra Khan? Let me rock you, Chakra Khan. No, it's a chakra, right? I don't know, but the point is I'm not going to be meditating, although maybe I should find my center during this show. Because I'm alone, solo, in the kitchen in Milwaukee. I would record in the bedroom, but it's tough to set up I was going to say the teleporter. I have no fucking idea. My brain went to teleprompter and then teleporter, and then I thought, you know what? You're using a laptop. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What if I scripted this fucking show and I had a teleprompter? And I had to read the entire fucking thing when I was alone. Because normally, Lily holds the cue cards. She's here, she holds up the cue cards, she flips them back and forth like Bob Dylan. That's fast. I'll tell you what, she's just, she's doing that, and now she's not here this week because the Vandals took the handles. I'm in the kitchen in Milwaukee. That was a loud smack. I apologize for that. I haven't eaten today. I had yogurt. But there's a low-level hum playing here in the kitchen. And I should tell you this, too. I'm going to cop to this. I was supposed to record this much earlier in the day, so I'm probably going to do this on 2 days. It's Monday. And I try, it's funny because Jill's like, are you recording today? Are you recording today? Are you recording today? And I'm like, yeah, I'm recording today. I'm going to start soon. And then I get busy. By busy, I mean I'm catching up on reading because I've been online in like 8 days. So I'm reading all the things about things, all the stuff about stuff. You know me, I like to be informed about things and stuff. So I wind up not plunging in until right now, 4:30 p.m. Central Time on a Monday. I want to give you exactly what I'm doing and where I'm at. Like I said, I'm in the kitchen in Milwaukee. There's a low-level hum. I'll explain that in just a second, but it's 4:30 p.m. Jill will be here in 45 minutes, so I'm going to have to stop recording and probably record tomorrow morning at like 5 a.m. And part of me wants to just roll the fuck out of bed and start talking and see how the fuck that works. Because I like experimenting. It's not like I've been doing the show for 9 years and I should have some sort of professionalism to it. I should have a patina of caring. I mean, I do care, certainly, but I like to think that I have my superpowers of talking could affect anybody at any time, and I could certainly bring them to you at 9 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 in the afternoon on a Monday. I should slow down. So I will record some of this now and then some of this later, and then Jill will go, I thought you were recording, and I'll go, I was going to, I promise, and then she's going to roll her eyes at me. And I'll tell you know what she hates? When you roll your eyes at her. If you ever see Jill, do me a favor, roll your eyes at her. It's just do it for fun. Now she's going to be upset that I said that. Probably not upset, because she knows that you won't do it, and you'll do it if you do it, it'll be for fun. But when I do it sometimes, she's like, what are you doing rolling your eyes? And I'm like, well, that's just me, I'm an eye roller. And that really helps a relationship stay strong when you do things that the other person hates. Oh my God, let me tell you something. That's the way to hold on to the love of your life, is by looking at her and rolling your eyes when you know that the thing she really hates is when you don't take her seriously or roll your eyes. I find out, like Jill, she thinks I don't listen to her sometimes, but I do listen to her. It's just I forget because I'm old. I don't know if you know how old, folks. I'm now officially 49 years old. This show is entering the home stretch, at least with the title, right? It's called The 40-Year-Old Boy. I'm 49. We got a year left on this. And then, like I said, we load up the gun and get Eric Butterfield to produce the last show. He hands me a gun, bang, gunshot. And he takes his gloves and he wipes everything clean and he sneaks the fuck out and he's not blamed. I got to think I got to have a big reunion show. Like all of the guests, previous guests from this show should be on the last show of year 49 or year 10 or whatever the fuck it is. When I turn 50, I got to have, who do I have on here? Because all the people whose voices have been on the show. So that's just going to be Lily and Eric and Jill, because she said one thing once. And let's see, Max. No, yeah, Max has been on. What the fuck am I thinking? Max will probably be on next week, as a matter of fact. I should probably text him and see if he's okay with that. And then Rock Sugar. I'll get them in here because they were the only guest I've had on the show. Maybe I switch this for year 10. Maybe I just go straight up guests. Maybe I have Rock Sugar on every week, do a different song every week, acoustic. I don't know why I'm putting this on them, because it means I don't have to talk so much. And there won't be the low-level hum. You hear that low-level hum in the background? It's maybe not even the background, maybe just kind of eclipsing my voice. See, at my house, it's always hot. It's always warm, and I have a ceiling fan and an air conditioner. And then I warn you guys there's going to be a noise. And then some of you are like, I didn't hear a noise. Duh. I don't think you're saying duh. I don't mean to cast aspersions on you and your intelligence. Although I just watched a fucking show yesterday. Dude, Jill's like, hey, man, we got to watch this show called Tent City. And it was a documentary about homeless people living in the fucking street. Well, where else are they going to live? I mean, they're homeless. They can live in trees. I'll tell you what, though, that's a fucking documentary if you can get that to pull off. If you can get homeless people to live in trees, fuck, I watched the shit out of that show. I would absolutely watch the fuck out of a bunch of homeless people living in trees. Not even tree houses. They just got to sleep on branches like fucking squirrels and shit. Dude, to watch the homeless have to wrangle squirrels for nuts and food. One time, Jill and I were walking. This is beautiful. We're in my hometown. And she's like, dude, we got to totally walk to the YMCA and check it out. And I said, great. And, because Jill, she doubts me, man. She doesn't think I can handle that stuff. Because we'll always be like, hey, let's go walking. And then we just sit on the couch and we don't do anything here at her house. Because, you know, I want to fucking hold her and just lay on the couch. But she thinks I'm the one who's against walking. I'm not against walking. It's just we wind up doing other things. God, I'm filling the silence with a lot of talking. But I'll walk. I mean, I tell her all the time. I go, hey, man, I'll go walking. You want to go walking? Let's go take a walk. And then she just kind of doesn't go for a walk with me. And then she blames me. You didn't want to take a walk. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I totally wanted to take a walk. I don't know if I wanted to, but I would. But one time we were walking in California by my house. And we had to walk to the Y because she knew it was close when we drove there, but she didn't realize it was like 1.5 miles away. Which is not a long walk, but when you're not thinking it's going to be 1.5 miles away, you just keep walking. Finally, she looks at me and just goes, man, this place is farther than I thought. Yeah, no fucking kidding. I told you. Maybe I didn't. But regardless, we had to walk past a park. There's a park near my house that is just fucking homeless central. I mean, it is literally just a bunch of homeless dudes because it has like a bathroom that you can use. And that is gold to the homeless and the Uber drivers of the world, man. And I don't know if it's open late. I would never fucking wander in there late. That's the last thing I want to see is fucking homeless people having sex on the floor. That's got to happen, right? If there's an open bathroom and it's late at night, because where are those the homeless getting laid? They're not getting laid out in public. They're not getting laid in the gutters. Maybe they're in their tents getting worked. But it's fucking homeless, right? No homeless are fucking normal people. Not that the homeless aren't normal people. Fuck. You know what I mean? I mean, homeless people are, if they're having sex, and I got to think they are, right? Even though they're gross and dirty. Because we were just in Texas and we saw some really filthy homeless people. And that's just because they need a shower. Not that they're dirty people inherently, but just, you know, they don't have a fucking house. Without a shower, you can't go ahead and get cleaned up, and so you're living on the street. You're eating apple cores and carrying a duffel bag and a bindle on a fucking stick. And apparently you have shoes with your toes sticking out of them, and you have a 3-day growth of beard that looks like some kind of charcoal on your face, and you got a top hat without a top on it. You got a hatless or a topless hat. I was gonna say a hatless top. Apparently I have a stereotypical hobo in my mind. We fingerless gloves and the whole, you know, the fucking, and a suit. Remember that when you look at the old homeless guys, not homeless guys, but the old hobos? That guy's wearing like a tuxedo, like a beat up tuxedo, but with the top hat with the hole popped out of the top and the fingerless gloves and the bindle on the stick. You know what's in that bindle? Money. Oh my God, those homeless people, they're totally ripping us off, right? When you see them begging. And they're just like, hey man, can I have $1? And then they get in their Mercedes and they drive home, these welfare queens, right? Who's with me, everybody? I think ostriches are coming. How did I spin off into that shit? See, this is the thing too with Lily. There's no fucking Lily here. I don't know where the fuck I spin off to. I was talking about low-level hum. I was talking about air conditioning. I was talking about the homeless. I was talking about being walking in the park. Hi. So we're walking through this park, and it's near my house, and it is a homeless festival. Man, I mean, they're sleeping on the dirt, sleeping on picnic tables, and there's a big statue of Amelia Earhart there, which is I think because they really want the homeless to disappear just like her. Maybe they want them to take the hint. They should do that. Just fucking blow all the homeless onto a plane and then fly them somewhere. There should be an island for homeless people. I don't know. Look, I don't want to relegate them. I'm not like a guy who put people into camps, but I mean a nice camp, like Fantasy Island. What if there was a Fantasy Island for homeless people? And their fantasy would just be to have pants that fit and shoes, right? Although they'd probably want their families back, I would imagine. But some of them are fucking bananas. I mean, you've seen that. Homeless people. Why do I always... Dude, homeless people and animals are what I wind up talking about on this fucking show. And homeless animals, because that's what I'm about to get to, goddammit. In the park, by my house, we're walking, and there was a squirrel who let us get really close. Like Jill and I saw him. He was on a picnic table. And he let us go really close to him. Like, he didn't run away. He wasn't spooked. And I think it's because he lives around homeless people. Not that we look like homeless people, certainly. But we were people. And he wasn't scared of people because the homeless are there with him. And I think that he should be spooked because aren't the homeless, like, catching him and cooking him, right? Wouldn't you cook a squirrel if you were homeless? I mean, if you're starving to death, the fucking squirrel looks pretty good. Although you got to catch him, then you're running around like fucking Rocky in an alley. With Burgess Meredith going, come on, Rock! By the way, all homeless men are named Rocky. But this squirrel, not only is on the picnic table by himself, and we approached him because you're fascinated. Like I said, my mom, I went to the fucking zoo. There's animals in cages. My mom's like, whoa, check out the animals. But then when a squirrel came up really close, that's the one she took fucking 80 pictures of because it was like the zoo came to life. Now, if a lion walked up to my mom, that would be fucked. Did you see did you see the fucking tiger attack the Chinese lady? Oh, Jesus. There's a video. It was, I didn't have a video. I think maybe it's like a minute long. One of those fucking wilderness parks. And there's like a Chinese family driving through. By the way, I should tell you this. One of the reasons I waited to do this show was because I didn't think I would have anything to talk about. I do this all the fucking time. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'll wait because it's only going to be an hour show or I'll just talk and we'll see what happens. But I'll wait because I don't know if I'm ready to be funny. And then when I just start talking, here we are. I don't know where the fuck we are in the middle of the show. But now I'm however the fuck moments in and I've talked about nothing. But that's what the show is all the time anyway, right? Not really. Sometimes I've got substance. Sometimes I've got sustenance. Sometimes I eat during the show, but you don't know it. Haha, what if I edited out all my eating? What if I did? What if I ate a 4-course meal? Maybe that's what I changed the show to in year 10. Just me eating a fucking huge meal. I think I talked about that in here once before. You know, I'll tell you what, that's another bad thing, man. I keep thinking that I fucking talked about stuff, and then, and so then I'll talk about something on the show. Like what? A couple of weeks ago, I talked about fucking a kangaroo. Sorry, that made me laugh. It's so stupid to actually say that with a serious face. Hey, remember a couple of weeks ago when I talked about fucking a kangaroo? But the worst part of that, not only talking about fucking a kangaroo, dudes, I in my head I kept going, I swear to God I talked about fucking a kangaroo or fighting a kangaroo on some other show. I told Lily, I told Max, and both of them are just like, because they've checked the fuck out. Lily shows up and laughs, writes 2 titles on the legal pad and bails. There's a great picture on my Facebook timeline this week, and it was basically a picture of Lily from the neck down, and it was my view during, I said, this is my view during this week's show. I think it's the most commented upon thing I've ever put besides the one when I announced that Jill and I were dating. But it's because both pictures are fucking great. But this picture, literally, you don't even see Lily's face. It's just like her shoulders, she's sitting down or whatever the fuck, and she's not wearing a bra, it's a t-shirt. And of course, like 80 guys are like, oh, God, Tex Avery Wolves hitting themselves in the head with fucking shoes, and everybody makes a comment about milk. Hey, you're all clever. Fuck, how was it? Oh man, I had something. Now I'm gonna have to go back. Oh, so on that one, Lily had the legal pad on her fucking on her lap, and you could see she's got like 8 possible titles written down already. I don't even know where the fuck we were in the middle of the show, but she's got 8 titles. Now, if I showed you the legal pad, you'd just be like, she's not even trying. Lily keeps tabs on this show like she's trying to save Sharpie ink. Like she has no fucking interest in writing down possible titles. She comes there, she laughs, she checks her phone. She doesn't really check her phone. She does because she runs a business. She has to. She has a life. And I'm not paying her dick, so it's not like she can fucking just put everything on hold. She's got to answer people's fucking texts and phone calls in the middle of the show, and she's very good not to. But don't think it doesn't drive me fucking insane on her phone because when she has because she's old. She's older than me, and I'm fucking old. But she's older than me, so she's got this like blinky light that goes off on her phone when she gets a text, and it lets her know that she's got to return it or let people know what the fuck is going on. So that goes off when I'm doing the fucking show, and I think I deserve some kind of award for not fucking freaking out about it, because well, let's face it, folks, I think I deserve some kind of award for not freaking the fuck out about anything, honestly. I just need, you know what? I just think I deserve some sort of award. I'm trying to repeat that cadence and say it in the same way every time I say it. I deserve some sort of award. But when I did the show about fighting and fucking a kangaroo, in my head, I thought for sure that I had talked about that before. I don't know why it came up in my brain. So I asked Lily, I'm like, I swear to God, I talked about fighting a kangaroo in some other show. And she's like, I have no fucking idea. And then I said to Dave, dude, because we were talking about the artwork, and I'm like, man, there's a kangaroo story, maybe I'm in a pouch. I go, but you know what? Fuck, dude. I swear to God, I talked about fucking a kangaroo or fighting a kangaroo in some other show. And then I wondered, is it not in my show? Like, was I a guest on some other show and I wound up having a chat about fucking a kangaroo? I don't think I did. It's kangaroo, not kangaroo. I think I said it both ways there. Kangaroo. Kangaroo. It's the emphasis on the ooh. I need a ooh, not a kanga. Kangaroo, not kangaroo. And it looks different in the blue lines when you say it differently. So my point is nobody fucking cares. I mean, you guys care. Certainly you care. Everybody cares. But I mean, I should throw it out to you guys. Next time I do a show like that, I'll just put it on the fucking Joker's page and be like, hey, did I ever talk about fucking a kangaroo that you guys can remember? And that speaks to what kind of content we have in this fucking show. That not only may I have once talked about fucking a kangaroo, but it wasn't memorable. That's the thing. It wasn't memorable at all. Nah, man, nobody has any fucking clue. You might have talked about fucking a kangaroo. It's the kind of guy you are, man. So my point is, was there a point? I don't think there was. When we were in the park, we're walking, and there's a fucking picnic table, and we approached this squirrel. We got super close to him. But the best part of it is not only is the squirrel on the table, but this is why we were really, because we saw the squirrel, we were walking up to meet him. But even better was on the table was an iron, like for ironing your clothes, not like an iron, like an iron skillet or a fucking fireplace iron. I mean, it was an iron with a plug and everything. Like I don't even. I was trying to. Jill and I were looking at each other. We're just like, who leaves? I mean, I picture some homeless guy scooping it out and thinking he would use it at some point. That's my favorite part. Like some homeless dude is just the same. You know who I picture was some optimistic homeless guy who just became homeless. Like he's been homeless for like 2 days and he's like, well, you know what? I'm eventually going to conquer this and I'm going to get a job interview at some point in my life. And I better have an iron on hand. Like it just, somehow if I see an ad and I need to go in for a job interview, I'm going to need an iron to iron the suit that I'm going to be sleeping in the gutter for the next fucking 5 weeks. But I'm sure it won't be 5 weeks. I'm sure somebody will offer me some sort of job right away. And that dude carried that iron around for a year. And in the beginning, sure, he had a suit, he had clothes, he had a bindle. But then he had a garbage bag, and then he had a tent, and then he was carrying fucking plastic bottles, and then he had a bunch of squirrel food, and then he was just dirty and he was filthy. And then finally he's like, man, this shit's getting heavy. What do I get rid of? Do I get rid of the Bible? No, probably not. Do I get rid of the bags of dog food? No, I'll keep those. Yeah, fuck this iron. I'm never getting a job. I've given myself over to living with nature. That's how it's happening. No one's ever given me a gig anymore because I now have fucking white guy dreads. And not by choice, just by non-fucking wash. That's horrible. Shave my head. Seriously, if I get homeless, and look, I know, I will say this with full confidence. I have enough people out there who will not allow me to get homeless. But I know there's a certain segment of you motherfuckers who want me to be homeless just because you think it would be funny, and you want to hear what kind of stories and adventures I'd get into. But they would not be good. It's not like it'd be a good homeless guy who got into adventures. I'd be a homeless guy who just fucking cried and worried about lice. That's all I would do. And I couldn't dumpster dive. I didn't even want to touch. Dude, here's the fucking thing. There were homeless dudes who kept coming to my apartment complex and going into the dumpster and grabbing stuff. So, they would rummage through. I told the story in here once before. They would rummage through looking for plastic bottles. The recycling's on the side, but then they would go into the actual dumpster itself because I guess some people were fucking too selfish to put in the recycling or too dumb to sort it. I don't fucking know. But these dudes would dumpster dive and they would have fucking garbage bags. And I think I told the story in here one time before. I was going out of town and I thought I'd do a good thing when I was splitting. There was a homeless dude and I'm like, hey man, I got a bunch of plastic bottles in my fucking car if you want them. And then he leaned into my car with one of those garbage bags that he's probably used 100 times. So it had that sour bottom of a dumpster garbage smell. That I would imagine it smells like what happens when a succubus comes. Like, I mean, it was just like so fucking nasty. Like it would be demon cum. That's exactly what it smelled. It smelled like fucking devil sperm. Just that nasty sour. Oh my god, it's smelling like you boiled urine. You know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you do. We've all done that. Remember when you boiled your urine? I know I did. So that's what. The guy leaned into my car, and I'm just like, oh man, I didn't want homeless Joe in my fucking car, and especially not his secondhand bag. And I mean, I should have just pulled over and just brushed it all onto the ground. Here, pick this up. You're used to that shit, right? So these dudes hover around my apartment building, and they, I was going to say complex and building. I said Balding, I think. You know what? They hover around Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell. I actually know where he lives, sadly. So they hover around him, and they try to get stuff out of his pocket. They don't realize he hasn't worked in years. Except for various Saved by the Bell reunions on my friend Paul Goebel's live show, which was fucking bizarre that he got Mr. Belding. But he also got Bonaducci. He got somebody else, too. I guess it's not hard to get those guys. What do you make a phone call, or you just shine a big L in the sky and they show up? Losers. They're not losers. I like Danny. I wonder if I contacted Danny. First of all, he would never fucking remember me. I have no idea. But I wonder, does he have a gig? Like, could he help me with something? I don't know. What's he even doing these days? He was here, he hosted Starface, and then he fucking disappeared. And by the way, Starface, scrubbed from the annals of any sort of history of the internet. I don't think you can find it anywhere. I don't think it's even on YouTube, man. I don't think Comedy Central claims it. I don't think it's on Wikipedia. I've never looked, by the way. I don't know if it's IMDb. Because, you know what? Here's the thing. I want to build my IMDb page. I keep telling me that myself that I'm gonna. And then I just fucking don't. I got to put up my new headshots. I want to put up certain credits. I want to put up real stuff and have an actual page. So then if somebody deigns to cast me in something, then I'm in. Or at least they'll be able to go look at my page and go, hey, this guy exists. He did 3 things. Let's hire this fucking dude. Hey, this guy did 3 things once. He was in a park once and he saw an iron. But Jill and I were fascinated by the goddamn iron. We couldn't believe it was there. And so the part of me was like, I just thought of homeless people lining up. And then I saw a story about a dude who actually does the homeless people's hair. You see that guy? I think he's in fucking Pennsylvania or something. Or New York. Or New Hampshire. Could be Vermont. Might be Maine. Connecticut. He's all over the eastern seaboard. Rhode Island. He's in West Virginia. No, I apologize. He's in regular Virginia. No, he's in South Carolina. Wait, North Carolina. I'm going to name every state in the goddamn union. I'm better at those than the planets. Thanks for everybody. Who was it who wrote me last week? And he's like, hey, man, you fucking forgot Neptune. And then 5 minutes later wrote me, he goes, you remembered Neptune. Maybe not 5 minutes later. But yeah, I can name all the states. But there's a homeless guy or a dude who goes out and does homeless people's hair. Like he gives of himself to go out and do it. And like I think I talked about it on the show once before. Again, fuck. All these things that I think I talked about before. Remember I talked about I would want to just go give tampons out to female homeless people because I cannot understand how they live or exist. Because a dude, you just got a cock, you tuck it to the side, and there you go. You try to wash it occasionally when you find a puddle. Good for you. However, a lady, she's got a lot more shit to do, man. There's a lot more stuff to scrub and things to shave and things to move around, and I don't even want to think about it. So, and you gotta, you need tampons or pads or just a fucking handful of paper towels or a fucking sponge or an IUD or a DUI or whatever the fuck they gotta have. And they gotta do that to, because it's not like the flow stops because you go homeless. There's no button inside you can push. Hey, I'm going to turn this off for a couple of months till I find a house with a clean bathroom. No, those women are in the park lined up and going, oh, man, this is awful. I'm about to leave a pile of garbage in here that nobody ever wants to touch. And I feel bad for those people. But when I saw that the one dude was cutting homeless people's hair, I got to admit, man, I admired that guy. And I said to myself, well, that's a really cool thing that you're doing. And then on the flip side of that coin, I went, I want to be nice to homeless people, and I'll tell them, hey, can't help you, sorry about that. But touching their hair, ugh. Dude, I've talked about it. I didn't even want to hand a guy a dollar or change because A, I don't have it, but B, I don't want to just accidentally graze their hand. Because who knows what that fucking... Again, I told you, I had the dude leaning in my car with the fucking Jurassic garbage bag that stunk like a dinosaur's ass, and I get to fucking go ahead and shake your hand? Because I was forced to shake the one homeless dude hand at Baby Blues, or at Barbecue House. I gave the title. You fucking know where it was. I don't work there anymore. But yeah, man, I shook that dude's hand and just gave him the eye. I stared him right in the eye because I wanted him to feel like a man, but at the same time, I didn't want to look like I was intimidated or scared by his fucking gross hand because he was awful. No, that guy was grim. But I did it. But that guy touching their hair, oh, dude, I can't even fucking... Because, all of them look like fucking Doc Brown, for fuck's sake, or Reggie Watts. That's what every homeless dude looks like. But none of them have the beatboxing talent or the capacity to turn a flux capacitor into a time machine. So, if they did, they wouldn't be fucking homeless, would they? Tell you what, if a homeless guy, it takes a lot more than Dr. Brown hair. Doc Brown hair. Dr. Brown, that sounds a little different. Doc Brown, he goes ahead and invents a time machine. Dr. Brown, he lays you on a couch and asks why you think you could invent a fucking time machine. Why are you deluded into thinking this? Oh, you traveled back in time? Sure you did. Okay, Mr. McFly, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. That's what Dr. Brown does. Doc Brown goes, hey, Marty, we got to go back. Or forward, or whatever the fuck they did. I've seen those movies, but not in a while, and they didn't resonate with me like some people. There's 80s movies that I fucking love, like Animal House and Vacation and Caddyshack, of course, which is the touchstone of all comedy for 49-year-old white guys like myself. But if you asked me to say one thing from the Goonies other than the fact that Chunk is a guy in there, I would have no fucking clue. I know Short Round's in it. That's all I know. I know Short Round's in it, and Chunk was in it, and because everybody's telling me to watch Stranger Things on Netflix. Dude, you got to see Stranger Things. It's this fucking 80s throwback. It's fucking cool as hell. And I'm like, great, that sounds awesome. I would love to tune in. They go, yeah, you got to see it. It's very much like the Goonies. And I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to see it. Not interested, because I think, I don't know anything about the Goonies, like you said, except for Chunk and Short Round. And by the way, I'll tell you this: if they remarket the Goonies as Chunk and Short Round, I watch the motherfucker. Now I'm in. And the Truffle Shuffle, right? Isn't that from that movie? I absorb some pop culture from various sources, but I don't watch the fucking movie to get it from the source. I go from various sources, but not the source. How about if I overuse the word source? What if the source was here? What if they sent D? What are the fucker name? D. Who was the one who fucking Dr. Dre beat up? D. Barnes. This would have been a lot more interesting if I could have pulled her name right away. Yeah, that's what the source needs to do. They need to come and profile this show before it ends. Does the source even exist anymore? Does Dee Barnes exist? She couldn't have been thrilled about Straight Outta Compton, right? That movie, they're like, hey, Dr. Dre, that guy's fucking awesome. And I was like, hey, what about the time he kicked Dee Barnes in the face, or whatever the fuck he did to her? You forget that shit, man. You can't beat the shit out of a woman and fucking let it go in the past. Dr. Dre's Dr. Dre, and I got Beats headphones for my fucking birthday, which is fucking amazing. However, every time I put them on now, I'm going to hear Dee Barnes screaming in them. That's no fun. Because, right, if you beat up a fucking woman, there's no way you should get a free pass on that ever. Like, people should remember it. They should point at you like fucking Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers and just make that noise. The Cubs this week, like, I'm a baseball guy. Jill and I went to some stadiums. I'll tell you about that in a few. But we fucking, the Cubs went out and they got Aroldis Chapman. This fucking guy who throws 105 miles an hour, and that's genius. I mean, I love it. I want the Cubs to win the World Series so badly this year, but then they just go and pick up this dickbag to close out games, and you're like, fuck, I can't root for that guy. I mean, I know I'm rooting for the jerseys, and I'm rooting for Joe Madden, I'm rooting for Bryant and Rizzo and a lot of the different Cub guys, but I'm not down with fucking... I mean, I understand you pick them up, and I understand you just go, well, we're trying to win ball games here, and as I've talked about before, steroids don't mean a fucking thing to me. I know a lot of people get pissed off about steroids, and they're all freaked out, but I gotta be honest, I told you, like I said, I want all my guys juiced to the fucking gills. I want them fucking blown up like parade floats, and I will not be happy until roided out outfielders collide into one another and explode on the goddamn field. That's what I want. I don't give a fuck. Take the spike the whole way. If it helps my team win, that's fine. But... And look, it doesn't affect my life in the fucking least, but you can't root for a guy who fucking, because supposedly he choked his girlfriend and then he didn't choke his girlfriend. And he's also had a hooker fall asleep in his hotel room and he didn't know how she got there, he claimed, and then she said that she wasn't a hooker. And dude, again, none of my business, right? I mean, unless you're a public fucking figure, then I guess it's everybody's business that you had a hooker in your hotel room who really wasn't a hooker, and then she fell asleep, and she called and said you kept her against her will, but then you really didn't. And then later on, you ended up choking your girlfriend and shooting up your garage. Fuck, dude. You can't root for a fucking guy like that. He supposedly choked his girlfriend, and then to blow off some steam, he went to the garage, and he shot the wall 8 times. Or I guess he shot the wall 7 times, and then he shot the window the 8th time. So he threw 7 strikes and then a ball outside. That's exactly what happened. And a lot fucking faster than 105 miles an hour. But, I mean, these dudes come over from Cuba, and I don't know what the fuck goes on in Cuba. Maybe that's the thing over there. Maybe you choke your girlfriend, you shoot the garage up. Maybe that's Wednesday in Cuba. We're not allowed over there. Remember, we don't have any fucking video. We can't go over that fucking country. It's been a communist country, and they're all frustrated as fuck. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just making fucking pressed sandwiches and eating Ropo Vieja all day long, and then they fucking choke their girlfriend and shoot up the garage. Or maybe that's not true. And look, I don't want to slander all Cubans. I'm certainly not doing that. I've never been to Cuba. I've barely been to Florida. I've been there a few times, which is, I guess, Little Cuba or Big Cuba. Cuba is actually Little Cuba now because Florida has more Cubans than Cuba itself. That's probably not a fact. You should probably look it up. But I mean, I don't want to look. I don't want to blame the guy. He's from Cuba and that's why he does it. But then the fucking Atlanta Braves just got rid of a guy named Hector Oliveira, who was another Cuban dude who also knocked his girlfriend around. But he was worse. He didn't shoot up the garage. I mean, he actually launched a couple into her fucking head, from what I understand. And then he was a Dodger, but then the Dodgers put him in the minors, but he's been suspended 80 games for a fucking PED, which again, I don't mind. I'm fully on board with that. But if you want to suspend the guy 80 games, because Chapman only got 30 games for choking the girlfriend and shooting the fucking gun. Are you fucking kidding me? Some guy takes Decadurabalin and he gets 80 fucking games or a lifetime ban, but this guy chokes his girlfriend and he shoots up the garage 8 fucking times, and you're just like, give him 30 games off, especially a reliever. I mean, you should prorate it at least, because you say relievers get in 1 every 3 games, give him a 90-game suspension. That's how it should have worked. And look, I don't want to sound like some clubhouse lawyer. Yes, I do. I don't give a fuck. It's my opinions. I talk about that all the time on here. I always wonder, because I blanch sometimes. And I've talked about, someone wrote on my wall, on my Facebook wall, they said, aren't you worried about offending people with the things that you say regarding the election or turning off half the electorate and stuff? And not really. I mean, it's a comedy show. Like I said, I'm talking about fucking kangaroos. And I think I mentioned, God damn it, now I think I said this last week, didn't I? Holy fuck, this is the problem. If I only had Lily here to write one thing on a legal pad and leave. So Jill and I saw a squirrel, right? Was that the where we were going with this? I don't think it was. I have no idea. So I know what I was going to tell you. There's a low-level hum. Perhaps you can hear it, folks. And Jill's supposed to be home in 15 minutes, by the way. So we'll end the first half of the show. Maybe I'll throw a song in the middle. Once I hear the doors start moving, she's going to walk in and she's going to just stare at me and go, "Really? You're fucking doing this?" But there's a low-level hum because I'm in her house, and it's hot here, man. Because at my house, it's hot. So I got the fan on and I got the air conditioner, but they're far away from me. Well, the one fan is above my head, but the air conditioner is a little farther away. But right now I'm in the kitchen and there's a window unit. And I should tell you this: she's like, "Oh, honey, it's going to be hot because it's humid in Milwaukee." But it's not hot here really. But it's humid with the windows all closed up, and it's hot in the house. Fuck, why the fuck am I describing weather to you people? You fucking know what I'm talking about. So she told me, she's like, "Go ahead and turn the air on," but her house is like a trick house. She's like, "Do me a favor, do not turn on the ceiling fan and the air conditioning because it'll blow the breaker." And apparently she's confused the fact that I have a cock with the fact that I'm a man, because I have no idea what blow the breaker means. Means? I think it means all the power will be cut, and then I wouldn't be able to record this fantastic show for you, which I should have started at 9 o'clock this morning, but I didn't. But it happened to her here. Dude, I'm such a fucking girl. I mean, it's ridiculous. We've been here before, and like the fridge stopped working, and she goes downstairs. She moves like 4 switches around, and then she comes back up. She wouldn't even let me go downstairs. She got a fucking basement with like a washer and dryer. And I'm like, hey, hon, I can go throw some clothes in. She's like, I got it. And she runs down and does it. And then on her way up, she brings up 2 cases of water. I'm like, fuck, chill, honey. I can bring up 2 cases of water. That's the whole point. I'm a giant mug. That's all I am. I'm a mule. Use me. Fucking make me do shit. Carry shit. That's fine. And she's like, it's okay, honey. I got it. But then I go, honey, please let me carry the water so I feel useful. And she's like, I got it, with bass in her voice. She doesn't really do that. She hates when I say that. She doesn't really hate it, but she's just like, honey, everything, because she thinks you guys think I'm serious. Like when I mean, sometimes I'm serious and when I'm serious, but when I say things like, she hates me or she yells at me for that, she thinks you really think that she hates me or that she yells at me for that, and she doesn't. And which is bananas, because she's listened to the show for fucking 9 years. You'd think there was hyperbole. Now my go-to line is when she says something like, honey, they think that. And I go, honey, I talked about fucking a kangaroo 2 weeks ago. Do you think they, or 4 years ago, could have been 5 years. I don't know. I can't get confirmation from anybody. Do you think they think anything I say is serious or true? But you know when I'm being serious and true, and you know when I'm exaggerating, and there's hyperbole for fun and humor. But what is not hyperbole is the fact that I wouldn't know a fucking thing to do if the fuses went out or anything got blown here in the house and the light bulbs burned out. I would have no fucking clue how to fix it. I got no idea. I mean, I could change a light bulb, certainly, although not at my house. Fuck, I got a lamp. This is true. I think I've talked about it on here before. Fuck, I think I've talked about everything on here before. There's a ceiling fan above where I record, like right above my desk. And I can have that on, but there's the ceiling fan has the 4 spaces for light bulbs. Dude, I can't find light bulbs to fit it. Like, I've went around and I've looked. I brought out I had one of the bulbs from the lamp, and I took it with me when I went out looking, and I can't match it anywhere. And I bought lamps or bulbs that don't fit the fucking lamp. And Lily's like, we should take a picture of it. Dude, take a picture of what? It's just it's a metal pussy stuck inside of a fucking lamp. I mean, you can't see it by the size. I can stick my finger in, I guess, and try to figure that out, but that doesn't make any sense. You know what? That's what I'll do for the fucking last episode before I turn 50. I'll stick my finger in the holes where the light bulb should be on my goddamn ceiling fan, and then we'll see if I fucking survive. And if I do, we'll change the name of the show and go that route. So yeah, I would have no idea how to fucking change the breakers or turn the fucking fuses or the switches. So I've been very careful today not to cross the streams or turn on both fucking things, because I don't want to get, I don't want to be sitting in a house where everything's ruined. Because again, I feel bad enough here when I don't do anything. I talked about that on here. Because I feel, because I'm taking up space, but I'm not really. She loves me and she's happy to have me here, but I think I should fix something, build a birdhouse. I don't know. Like I said, make dinner. I don't fucking know. But then she and I had a long talk, and she's like, that drives me crazy when you feel like that, because then I feel like I need to do something to make you not feel like that. And I'm like, really? Well, that makes me think that I should do something to make you not feel that way about feeling myself that way, and not the two of us should feel that. And then we wind up sitting there staring at each other and going, we're weird, right? We weird? I think we're weird. But she thinks she needs to make me not feel a certain way, and I think I need to do things to make her feel a certain way or make her not feel a certain way, and then we wind up just doing that thing, and it's a square dance, and then I bow to my partner, and I bow to my corner, and then we do-si-do to the living room. Because, as I've talked about, we're the same person here, because I also don't like getting eye rolled at either. Even though I know she doesn't mean it, but she does, but I do, but then she doesn't. Fuck, shut up. All right, so... But the bottom line is I wouldn't know how to change a fucking fuse to save my life or flip a breaker or do any of that nonsense. So she told me, do not turn on the ceiling fan and do not turn on the air conditioning together because it will blow a breaker. And I said, okay. So I didn't want anything bad to happen, so I came in here today earlier, and it was it was warm in the house. I turned on the air conditioning. I was sleeping in the bedroom with the air conditioning on and the door closed, which is, how fucking great is that? Is there anything better than being in bed under covers with the air conditioning blasted? I told you I used to do that in my hotel room. I still do. I would turn the air all the way down to 0 if I could, and just bury myself under blankets and lay in the bed. Oh, God, it's beautiful. Just like in the winter, I will turn the heat up to 85, and I will sleep on top of the covers. Ah, love it. I like opposite day. So I like a cold room buried under covers staying warm, and I like a hot room sleeping on top of the covers, just naked, just absorbing all the fucking air. Picture that in your fucking brains. I had to do something to get squirrel with an iron out of your head. A homeless dude, that guy fixing the homeless people's hair. Well, I talked about that. Fuck. There was nowhere else to go with that thought, right? Because now my brain's picking up thoughts that I had in the past. So anyway, I was asleep in the bed last night, and Jill has to go to work at fucking some godly hour. Well, I should just tell you, it's so funny. I keep thinking there's like these bits of information that I shouldn't share, but it doesn't matter if I share it or not, right? Because you don't care when she goes to work. Well, you do care, but it's not like you're going to come here and kill me or catch her. But I guess I shouldn't say that because now I'm worried that someone's going to catch her. Fuck. Like she's a Pokemon. She's a Jillymon Go. Pokey Jill Go. Which is better, Pokey Jill Go or Jillymon Go? For you guys, it's Jillymon Go. For me, it's Pokey Jill Go because that has a completely different connotation. So I'm in the bed and I got the air cranked up and I'm sleeping, and then I woke up this morning at 7, and that's why starting the show at 4:30 is so ridiculous, because Jill's going to be like, I thought you were going to fucking do the show, and I'm going to be like, yes, but she's not going to say fucking do the show, but she's just going to laugh at me because she does that all the time. She's like, you're going to put it off, aren't you? And I'm like, no, I'll totally record it, because I did that at her house last time I was here. I put off recording, and then I had to record the next morning, which is what I'm going to have to do here. I'm going to have to record at least half the show the next morning, or maybe all the show, or maybe an hour and a half of the show. Not all the show. I'm recording this part, right? Why do I say right? Because fucking Lily's not here. I told you that. When I do this fucking show by myself, I'm looking for confirmation from a ghost. There's nobody here, just a ghost. So I turned the air conditioning on. But once I woke up this morning, I turned off the air in the bedroom, and then I came in here. First I sat in the living room until like noon. I was online and reading some stuff and catching up on some emails and things. And I didn't have any of the air on because I didn't want to crank it up and have like a super cold house. So I just didn't move. You know how you do that thing when it's hot and you just don't move, you figure you're okay. But then eventually I knew I was going to come in here and record, and it got a little stiff and close here in the house. So I went over and I turned the air on. And then I sat down here at the kitchen table because the battery on the laptop had run low in 5 hours, and so I put it down and I hooked it up, and I was starting to open Audacity and think about doing a show, and then I shrunk Audacity and I read Twitter because today's the baseball trading deadline, folks. You can't expect me to pay attention to comedy and shows. I got to figure out who the Phillies aren't going to trade, because they didn't trade anybody, goddammit. But that's okay. I guess they didn't really need to because they stink. I mean, but they're rebuilding and they've got all these young guys. But I wanted them to get more young guys. I'm greedy. I'm in that mode now. When they were winning World Series, I want them to keep winning the World Series. But now that they're rebuilding, I want them to keep flipping guys and getting new dudes because that's exciting. You get a little juice that way. They're traded this guy for that guy and these guys and these new guys, and you can wish on these new guys. But they didn't trade anybody today. But that's okay. They're still making a plan. I think I trust them. I trust Matt Klentak. I trust Andy McPhail and the rest of the new regime there in Philadelphia. You don't care, and I veered off into baseball talk. So I turned the air on here, and I sat down like I was going to record. I opened Audacity. I shrunk Audacity. I plugged in the microphone. I unplugged the microphone. And also it's weird because I got my earbuds in. Like I said, one of my birthday gifts from the lovely Jill this year was wireless Beats headphones. And that's something I've been thinking about buying for a long time. I've been looking at wireless headphones because when I travel, well, first of all, at the house. Now, I said I've started listening to a lot of music at my house. And before, I just bought a Bluetooth speaker at my house, which is great because I can use that to listen. But what I wound up doing here was I was wearing, for weeks going by at my house, I wear my earbuds. And then they get caught on fucking doorknobs and handles for cabinets and shit like that. And I've actually destroyed one pair of my Bose earphones, which are fucking $100, by catching them on the handle for my my toiletry cabinet. My toiletry cabinet, where my fucking deodorant and stuff is. I don't want to call it a toilet. It's a cabinet. Jill's got a shelf and I got a shelf. I don't want to call it a toiletry cabinet, but I did. I've now called it 3 times because I don't like the word toiletry. Well, I don't like the word toilet. This is fucking weird. Jill's in the shower in our hotel room in Arlington, Texas, and I leaned in to talk to her because I like to spy on her when she's in the shower. Hi, how are you doing? That's me. I call it a spy thing. She knows I'm there. But I poke my head in and I'm looking until she's got foam in her eyes or whatever the fuck, shampoo and suds she's doing her hair, but you can feel my presence. And then my hand eventually. But as I was talking to her, the toilet, because I wasn't in the bathroom yet, and the toilet was reflected in the door, and I thought there was a toilet in the shower, like a twin toilet. So, which was, I mean, I thought of how gross that, because first of all, the fact that there was a toilet possibly in the shower was gross enough, but the fact that there would be a toilet next to the other toilet, like you could have a tandem toilet off. God, for a guy who hates the word toilet, I've sure said it a lot in this fucking show. Jesus Christ. But it freaked me out for just a second, that thing where your brain doesn't register and you just see 2 toilets and you're like, holy fuck. So then you're supposed to hold each other's hand and do it like fucking that duo figure skating pairs or whatever the fuck, you get in there and you're just like, yeah, let's do this together. That's a couple who really loves one another. When you gotta have a toilet next to a toilet and you just fucking go, and we're off. So I've been ruining headphones by catching them on knobs and things like that in my house. So I've been thinking about getting wireless for a long time, and then sure enough, I get a present from the lovely Jill for my birthday. I open it up. It's wireless Beats headphones, which is fucking great. And so now, though, I'm wearing my regular headphones because I did not use my wireless. I didn't want to try it, and also I waited too long. If I would have done this at fucking noon, I probably could have hooked up the wireless and done that and hooked them through the computer and used them with my laptop, and who the fuck knows. Although I don't know if they would, the microphone would read them, because these plug directly into the microphone. I'm using earbuds plugged directly into the microphone, as opposed to being used through the laptop. This is a lot of information you don't fucking need. And see, this is why I need some other person here to rein me in and go, dude, nobody cares about this fucking technical minutia. Now, this is like the first episode of Never Not Funny where we talked about the goddamn, the control box where we talked about for an hour, the microphones and the master controller. Jesus. Yeah, we talked about the master controller. Hi. We broadcast from Tron, the first episode of fucking Never Not Funny. We talked about the OCP, or the MCP. Oh, you know me. We talked about ODB. By the way, that was a donut I almost had last week. I'll get to that in a second, probably. And by a second, I mean tomorrow morning because it's already 5:08. and Jill's going to show up and go and open the door. And I'll tell you this, though. One time I was recording, and this is her house, right? This is where she fucking lives. She came here, and I saw her walk up because I saw her through the window blinds. And I was waiting for her to come in, and she wouldn't come in her house. She just kind of stood there on the porch, and she's waiting and waiting. And I fucking put you guys on pause, and I walk over, open the door, and she goes, I'm sorry, honey, I didn't want to interrupt. Oh my God, it's your house, honey. Please come in. You're not going to interrupt. If they hear the door open or whatever, and I can edit the fuck out. I mean, I've got that kind of talent now. This is not the old days where I had to send fucking bits and chunks of audio to fucking Lily and go, hey, make sure you take that out. Hey, you know when that door opens? Go ahead and that buzzing? Go ahead and take those out. You know that low-level hum? Can you edit that out of the fucking show, please? She probably can't because that's the air conditioner rolling. So I turned the air conditioner on when I got here, or when I got up. It was like noon when I came into the kitchen. And then, like I said, I started to futz around and move things around and look at different things on the internet and try to read things that I catch up about Trump and everybody else. Because today, I don't know if you heard that Donald Trump said he thinks the election is going to be rigged. He's already laying the fucking groundwork for when he loses and all the bullshit he's going to squawk about. God damn it. Look, you don't know how badly I want to talk about him and the election. I've talked about it a lot recently, but I'm fascinated by it. And I'm just kind of, I'm absorbed into it. But I don't want to make it too much of the show too many times. Some people have written me and they're like, dude, I love when you do political talk. It's fucking great. And I'll be doing a lot more of it. Don't kid yourselves. I talk about whatever the fuck runs into my goddamn head. But I am making a conscious decision to kind of throttle back on it a little bit now. Because, again, I'd love to talk about the conventions and I'd love to talk about that sort of stuff. But you guys, again, we're too busy talking about squirrels and fucking utensils, appliances. Fuck, couldn't pull the word. So Jill has come here before and heard me talking and stayed on her porch. And the thing is, I don't have the blinds open right now over the air conditioner, so I can't see her walk up on the porch. Now, conversely, she can't look through the blinds and see me talking on the microphone, but she can hear me through the door. And if she hears me through the door and she stays outside on the porch, well, I mean, she's supposed to be home here at 5:15. It's 5:11 now, so in the next 4 minutes, she should get home here and she should put their key in the door and then we'll hear it open and then I'll tell you guys she's here. But she also, there's a good chance, may stand out on the porch because she's a lovely person who doesn't want to interrupt, but she doesn't realize she's not interrupting. And this is her fucking house. It's not my recording studio. So if she wants to walk the fuck in, she can. But I tell her that and then she's like, honey, I didn't want to interrupt. And then she's going to go, but you were supposed to be done with the show by 3 o'clock. And I'll go, yeah, you're probably right. I could have been done by 1. Fuck, I could have been done with the show by 11 a.m. But I was very busy, folks, doing things on the couch. So I turned on the air conditioning when I sat down here and I started reading things and doing other things. And it was hot. Like, it was crazy hot here in the house still. And then part of me's like, I wanted to turn on oh, guess who's here? Hi, honey, come on in. I'd already told them that you'd be walking in. I told them last time you stood on the porch. All right. You know what? I'll talk to you guys in the morning. How's that sound?
Man is a hot one, like 7 inches from the midday sun. I hear you whisper in your words, melt everyone, but you stay so cool. My muñequita, my Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa, you're my reason for reason, the step in my groove. And if you said this life ain't good enough, I will give my world to lift you up. I will change my life to better suit your mood, because you're so smooth. And it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of love that can be so smooth, yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. tell you one thing. If you will leave it be a crying shame. In every breath and every word, I hear your name calling me out from the barrio. You feel my rhythm on your radio. You feel the turning of your world, so soft and slow, turning you round and round and round. And if you said this life ain't good enough, I would give my world to lift you up. I would change my life to better suit your mood, because you're so smooth. And it's just like the ocean under the moon. Well, it's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of loving that can be so smooth, yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. Or else forget about it. And it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of loving that can be so smooth, yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. Or else forget about it. Or else forget about it. Or else forget about it.
Good morning. It is morning now. Jill arrived yesterday, and then we had some things to do, and then she slept, and I answered everybody on Facebook who wished me a happy birthday, because you are all super cool and very nice people. And now here we are. I slept a little bit. I think I got like 4 hours, I think. And then I'm on the road this morning. We are flying away. I'll tell you all about that in a second. But let's talk about this for just 1 second. I just went back and listened to some of the show from last night, because I got to figure out where I'm at and how to cut it. And in my head, I was like, well, should I cut out Jill arriving and then try to stitch it together? But I had already talked for fucking 8 minutes about her coming home, I think. And as I listened to that, I thought to myself, holy fuck. I don't think I've ever spoken more quickly in a show in my life. The first half of this show, or the first part of this show that I recorded last night, that's like 43 minutes, something like that. And yeah, but the problem is I've got 80 minutes of words jammed in there. Jesus God. And I don't know if that's arduous for you guys to listen to. I don't know. And stupid me, it only took till year 9 that I thought to myself, God damn, you talk fast. I mean, I hear it sometimes, but especially in these shows when I'm alone, I am just packing the space. I'm filling the space, man, and slapping the bass, man, and slapping the bass, man. And I am talking a lot, because it's, as we've talked about before, you and I, we've had a conversation about it. I've sat down with Lily, and she laughs. She listens to the show, and I can engage her a little bit, and maybe I live in it a little bit more. But when there's nobody here, man, holy fuck, I am just chasing Indiana Jones down a goddamn hill. It's crazy. And now I'm doing, as you can tell, I'm making a conscious effort not to do that. I'm trying not to speak it, because I always say I talk at the speed of my head. And so the beginning of this show is a really good example of that, because you can hear just exactly how fast my head is going, because I don't stop. All I'm trying to do is I'm just walking around in a bee suit, trying to catch all the bees as they fly out of my fucking cranium, fly out of my skull. And this morning I'm doing the best I can to limit the bees and opening and how much of them can fly out, or the opening that the bees can fly out of. Jesus Christ, maybe I should just do better, just fucking talk, right? Instead of sitting here and trying to think about exactly how the fuck I'm going to stop myself from talking, why don't I just go ahead and talk? Because that's the fucking show is. Why would you have a show where you decide not to talk? Why would you say to yourself, you know what? Here's a show where I'm going to use as few words as possible. I'm not fucking Clint Eastwood. I'm not a fucking man with no name. I'm a dude who comes out here and I yaps. That's the whole point. Podcast. But it's right there in the name. Podcast. No, it isn't. It'll be Yapcast. Hey, let's call it a Yapcast. Maybe we do that. We go with the Yapcast. All right, how you doing? I'm Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy Yapcast. So we were. I tried to even listen about what we were talking about. There wasn't really much of anything we were discussing as I was going on and fucking on yesterday. The point is, I'm out. It was my birthday week, and that was great. I'm 49 now. And people are taunting me. They're like, "What are you gonna do when you turn 50? Are you gonna change the name of the show?" And I don't fucking know. But I got 12 months to fucking figure it out. I gotta change it. I gotta turn it or do something or get a new show. Like we already talked about, I'm just gonna have a show where it's me and Rock Sugar, and they just play, and I go, "Yeah, this is great. I think that'd be a good year. I'll just take a fucking year off and have them come in and play acoustic versions of their songs and go, yeah, that was great. You guys can get them at." And then if you want to write me, you fucking know everything already because it's been 9 years and nothing's changed. A lot's changed, but addresses and things like that, contacts haven't changed. So I still have my wired earbuds in, and because I got the Beats wireless ones, which are, like I said, I wanted wireless headphones and they were fucking great. I wore them on the plane, but still it was kind of weird to be untethered. I felt like at any moment I could shoot off into space. Astronaut style. That's why they had to have that rope where they were tied to the ship. Or did they? Didn't they? Or they hopped around and just walked. Nobody gets swept into space, did they? I don't know much about space, as we learned last week on all the fucking planets. This week I can do the states. Last week I couldn't do the planets, although I got some. I got all of the planets that are important to me. That's such horseshit, because none of the planets are important to me except Earth, because I live here and you live here. It's a big blue marble, folks. Let's just share it. It's the big blue marble in space. And it's just spinning. Third rock from the sun. All those other bullshit cliche things. It's where we live. Although I gotta admit, man, I felt small the other night. We were in Austin, Texas, the lovely Jill and I. And we went up to the pool. It was about 10 o'clock at night. Pool closed at 11. We said, let's go up and use some hot tub. And you didn't have to worry. Sorry, I guess I yawned in the morning. We weren't worried about getting chased out. We weren't worried about having big crowds, because that's the one thing. We go to the hot tub and the pool, and we don't want anybody to ever be there. That's kind of funny about us. We hate people. We're antisocial. We're antisocial. But late at night, you figure you're okay. But here's the problem: when you go up late at night, especially on a weekend, at the pool, you know what you're going to find there? You're going to find children. Because adults are off drinking and partying and doing whatever, and they leave their kids to their own devices in the hotel, and the kids can't do anything. And I remember being that age, when you're like 13 to 15 to 18, or no, even to 17, I'd say. 18, you can go out and fucking do stuff, maybe, with your friends. But if you're like 13, 14, you've got nothing going on, so you terrorize the hotel. You know, you're running into the business center, you're just fucking around. And I don't say that from my experience, by the way. I never did that sort of thing. We were left to our own devices in the pool, but we never terrorized the fucking hotel because my mom would have beaten the shit out of us. It was weird enough when you go to restaurants and we couldn't fucking talk out of line. My mom iron-fisted the hell out of us. But these kids, you know, we get to the pool and there's a bunch of kids sitting in the hot tub, and you're like, oh, God damn it. We were in Phoenix one time, and there was a baseball tournament in town. I don't know if I talked about it on the show or not. And Jill, she was out of her mind. She just wanted to fucking murder all of these kids. She hated them. Because then you get in the hot tub, and it's supposed to be nobody under 13 in the hot tub without an adult. Well, there's fucking 9 kids in the hot tub, and they're bumping into you, they're stepping on your feet, they're walking around, and that's an awkward fucking thing, because, you know, you're almost naked in a hot tub. Jill's in a fucking bikini, I'm in fucking swim trunks. These kids are all running around in their swim trunks, which are falling off their little asses, and you're just like, man, the wrong kid zigs and I zag, and he's gonna wind up in my lap, and a fucking parent's gonna see it and freak the fuck out. I want nothing to do with these kids. So Jill and I are just clamped up in one fucking, I don't want to say corner because their hot tub is round. I don't know if you know that. And folks, I know shapes. I know shapes like I know states. And I don't know planets. Even though planets are round. What if there's a square planet? Oh my God. I'd see if there was a square planet, I'd know that one for sure. It's all these fucking round planets I don't care so much about, except for the one, as I've mentioned, the big blue marble. But in Phoenix, Jill just wanted to kill these kids. She fucking hated them. And I did too. I won't lie. They were just, because they were just splashing each other, and they're doing that thing where they're making their swim trunks inflate. And the thing is, when I was a kid, I remember being like, wee, this is fun, fucking pool is awesome. But if it was a public pool, my mom would be there. And so when we didn't go to many public pools either, probably because my mom didn't want me to be molested. These other families, they don't give a fuck. That's how things have changed since I've gotten older. My parents didn't want me molested, but these other kids, oh my God, their parents don't give a fuck. Hey, go ahead, stick a finger in my kid's ass. I'm happy, I'm having a beer. Because that's what it seems like. They're all having beers and they're talking on the other side and they let their kids run fucking rampant. And I, this is a terrible thing, but it's also a true thing. I can't lie. These kids are running and jumping into the pool, and they're going from pool to hot tub, pool to hot tub. They're making the hot tub even fucking less hot because they're bringing all the cold water in from the goddamn pool. And then they're running and they're sprinting. And in my head, I'm just going, oh, please. I just wish one of them would slip and hit his head. Oh, that would be so great. No, I don't want him to fucking, be a waterhead or anything like that, but I want him to fucking get scrambled. Certainly. I want a kid to fucking, maybe open up a deep gash. That seems rude to root for that. But I don't give a fuck. I mean, they're in the hunt, they're being assholes, and they're fucking on top of one another. It's just, it's like you ever see a piglet trying to eat with it like it's 14 brothers? That's what it's like. It's just this feeding frenzy, and the hot tub is the pig. And then Jill and I are two other adult pigs there trying to just fucking get some sleep while these fucking 14 kids climb all over one another and splash bubbles on each other and go, ha, this is fun, ha, 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 oh my god, look at my shorts, ha, ha, hey, I bet you can't go underwater. Hey, I bet you can't go underwater for a long fucking time, kid, how about that? I bet all of you can't go underwater for a long fucking time. What do we do? I'll time you. Everybody get into the water. And I just fucking hold their heads under. That's true. Well, not true. Well, it's true. I don't want to kill anybody. Certainly not children, because, folks, I believe the children are our future. Let's teach them all and have them lead the way. Show them all the beauty we possess inside. Let's give them a sense of pride. And get them out of the fucking hot tub. How about all that? But in Phoenix, man, Jill just wanted to kill these kids, and I did too. So every time we go to a hotel now, we're always wary. We try to go early, and we try to go late. You can't go in the middle of the day. Well, also in the middle of the day, you're doing stuff. So there's no point. But when we got to Austin, first we went to Houston, which was great. Went to the Astros game, fucking awesome park. And I've talked on this show before, the best thing I've ever eaten in a baseball park was in Houston. Pardo and I went to, Jimmy Pardo and I went to, I always say Pardo shorthand like you know, but you probably know. Jimmy and I went to we played the Laugh Stop in Houston, Texas. And that's, I've told the story in here before, that's where we were being driven around by the kid who hated us in his smoky car. Did I tell that story? I think I told it here, or we told it on Never Not Funny. We were getting shuttled to and from the club by the opening act. Or a kid who worked like a doorman. And he would pick us up, and we fucking hated him. I mean, just Jimmy and I could not stand him because his car was dirty and he smoked in it. And we're going to a fucking show, man. We're going to entertain people. And I'm a giant. I mean, I think he had he might have had a Mitsubishi Galant or a Dodge Dart. I don't fucking know. I just rode in a Dodge Dart in Dallas. But it was some small ass fucking car. So this is fat me, like almost peak fat me. I mean, I'm probably like 460 at the time, maybe 480. So I got to sit in the front seat, Shooter's in the back, and this guy's driving us, and we hate him. We can't stand him because he won't talk to us at all, and we don't want to talk to him. But show some respect for the fucking out of town comics, man. At least be like, hey man, you guys having a good time? How you doing? This is where this goes. Here's these people. This is a great part of town. He had no fucking interest in talking to us. He was just a club employee who was forced to drive us, and so I get that. He doesn't have to be our best friend, but maybe he could show a little bit of an effort. Maybe he could show some kind of a spark. Maybe he could act like he cares, but he fucking didn't. So he's driving us, and it's this uncomfortable silence in the car every night. To the club, back to the condo. To the club, back to the condo. And and finally, I mean, Jimmy and I are just laughing in the car. Like, there's this uncomfortable silence, and we're kind of like, I would glance back at him, and it almost like when my mom would be mad and my brothers and I didn't want to talk. So then we started to ask him questions and just kind of try to get him to talk, and he was just giving us one-word answers. So he's driving us to and from the club, and there's a mall that we would pass every single time, and it had the marquee outside with the the names of the businesses. So this guy's driving us, and finally, I was kind of tired. I think it's the third day because we're there all fucking week, man. So we were the first 2 days. We're just like, what the fuck with this guy? I mean, why would he talk to us? And of course, if you listen to Never Not Funny, Jimmy is just as fucking bad as me. So they would drop us off, and he and I would look at each other. What the fuck is with this guy? How does he not fucking talk to us? How does he not at least show some fucking respect for these out of town dudes, or say hi or bye or fuck you or anything? I mean, he doesn't engage us. He just look. It's an arduous task. He knows it's a chore. He's got to pick us up, but make the fucking best of it. Goddamn, we're getting paid to be in town. At least pretend like we matter or we care. So we're driving the third day, and There was a business called Nail Time in the mall that we would pass every single time. And he's driving, he's miserable, and he's just fucking slumped over his wheel. and I'm probably going like 30, 35 miles an hour, and I just we get to the mall, and we're coming around the corner, and you see all the signs, and as he's turning the corner, I just go stop, and I'm loud. And I'm big, and I'm in the seat right next to him. And again, we haven't talked, so this guy doesn't have any fucking clue what's going on. So he hits the brakes. I mean, just fucking super hard. He hits the brakes. And he looks at me, and I point at the sign and just go, nail time. And Jimmy just goes, "Bah!" In the back seat. He fucking blurt laughs. And I just start laughing in this kid's face. I mean, I just couldn't help it. It was just so fucking, stop! Nail time. It's so fucking dumb. It's the kind of dumb shit I would do with my friends. I'd do it with Jimmy. But the thing is, Jimmy would know, and he probably would have beat me to it if he was driving. Fuck. And it's the kind of shit we would do to make each other laugh. So I was like fuck this. This kid, I let him have it, man. I just dropped a stop on him, and he fucking hits the brakes. We all jerk. And he looks at me. He's like, what? And I go, nail time. And the thing was, he didn't laugh, like he didn't enjoy it, he didn't think it was funny, he was pissed. He was even more pissed, and Jimmy, especially when Jimmy blurt laughed in his fucking head, and then he just kept driving. I just sat there, and I'm chuckling, and boy, I'll tell you what, when a 480-pound guy chuckles, the whole car shakes. So this time I was back in Houston. I mean, we went to the ballpark when Jimmy and I went. We had a great time. Best thing I've ever eaten in a ballpark was I had a brisket baked potato in Houston. And you know what? Honestly, as I've come around, I've realized it wasn't the best thing I've ever eaten in a ballpark, but at the time it was. I mean, I couldn't stop bragging about it. I'm telling everybody in the fucking world about a brisket baked potato. It's the fucking best thing I've ever eaten. But now in San Francisco, they've got I had a soft shell crab sandwich. Here's a fat guy reminiscing about food. So I kept telling Jill about this sandwich. We're going to Houston at the game. I kept telling her about this sandwich. I said, honey, we got to see. Oh my God, you're not going to believe this potato. And that's not a sandwich. It's a potato. It's a brisket potato. It's so good. So we get to the game. We walk into Houston's Minute Maid Park. And it's a gorgeous park, by the way. It's indoors. And the cool thing was on this trip, Jill and I, earlier this year, we went to Oakland for a baseball game. There's like 9 people in the stadium. They're all, they're all black second graders who were there for a field trip. Because it was an early fucking Tuesday game in April. Nobody cared. Not that anybody cares about the A's now, which is a shame. Because I'll tell you what, I love that team. I love those colors. But they've just made a mess of things out there. That was when Lou Kip went with us. I think I talked about that trip on here. Did I? Did I not? We went to Oakland for the game? I hope I did. Tell me if I did. Lou, write me. Tell me if I talked about it. If I didn't, then please let me know. And then I'll talk about it next week. Or forever. Or whenever. Forever. I'll talk about it forever. What if I did that? There's a good idea for when I turn 50. I remember once I went to Oakland with the beautiful Jill, and we met Lou Kippelman, and we went to a game. What if every week I told that story? I mean, it's actually not far off from what I'm doing now, because I swear to God, I told that stop nail time story. Well, I am spinning my wheels at this point. Everything's come off. I can't pretend that there's anything new to this show. I'm just rehashing old stuff. And then another thing happened once. Shut the fuck up, you old idiot. You know what? Kids should have drowned me in the hot tub. Fuck me drowning them. I think 14 kids could hold me under and end this whole fucking thing of misery for all of us. So we go to the game in Houston, and we get to Minute Maid. But the thing is, when we went to Oakland and we went to Minneapolis earlier this year, those teams blow. So there's people in the park, but they're just there to kind of hang out, or they're real diehard baseball fans, but there's not enough of them to have any sort of vibe. Well, we go this year or this week, I should say, to Houston and to Arlington, Texas. Those two teams are in it, man. They're in a fucking pennant race with one another. That's the cool part. Houston's chasing Texas in the AL West. And so we get to Minute Maid Park. Man, there's got to be 35,000 people there on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night. And they're going crazy because the Yankees are in town too. So there's that vibe where the Yankee fans are there. And the Yankees blow this year, but it doesn't matter. Their fans travel. So we get in there, and it's just alive, man. There's so many fucking people in the park. It was beautiful. But when we walked in, again, I've got brisket potato on my fucking mind because I'm that guy. If only because I want to confirm to myself that I wasn't wrong. I want to make sure that thing was as good as I remembered it from before. So Jill and I, we walk into the park. I'll tell that story in a minute. We walk into the park. No, I won't. I'll forget. I'll forget because I get nobody fucking here. I get no Bob Dylan with the fucking cue cards. So we walk into Minute Maid, and I'm like, brisket potato, and baseball. Certainly, I love baseball. Brisket potato, and certainly baseball. I do enjoy baseball. We walk in, there's this huge line, we're trying to navigate through it, and we just see a sign, and it says, we're like, why the fuck is everybody in line? Jesus Christ. We knew it was busy, but I mean, we figured it was just a beer line, and there's a sign. This is right when we walk in the park, by the way. We walk in, we get scanned, and then there was 2 lines. That was the fucking weird thing. Like, we had to go through the metal detectors, then we had to get in line to get into the park. Which I guess, if it's a busy baseball crowd, that makes sense. But they only had 2 metal detectors, the fucking thing. You go through, then you have to loop around and get in another line to enter the actual ballpark. Look, I'm not going to debate how they do things in Texas. Everybody down there has a fucking gun. Why wouldn't they do that? Which is another fucking weird thing. It was open carry everywhere, right? It's open carry. It's an open carry state. But every business has a sign that says no handguns allowed. So you just open carry in the street, like just Wild West style? I mean, you can't bring it in, like. And what's the point if you have a gun on your hip and you go to a restaurant and you have to leave your gun in your car? Because that doesn't make any sense. If it's open carry, it should be absolute Dodge City, man. Everybody should be fucking strapped with shoulder holsters and bandoliers and all that kind of shit and ready to go at any time, which is not safe and not something I want to do. But fuck, I'm never in Texas, so what the fuck do I care? I don't care. That entire state's a Mexican standoff. And one of the things they're upset about is the fact that you called it a Mexican standoff. They're like, fuck that. This is a Texas standoff. Everybody in the fucking town has a gun and a fucking evil grin, stare, glare. Fuck. So I just didn't understand the point of open carry. What's the point of open carry if you can't open carry everywhere? But the rule is, I suppose, if there's booze, you can't have a gun. Which fuck, I don't know. If you're gonna let people have guns, just let them have guns, man. Let them take them anywhere. Fucking, I want to read stories about somebody shooting a bouncy house at a kid's birthday party. Let that fucking happen. Just blow the shit out of it and have it collapse in on the kids. Because again, fuck those kids. Although I guess they should be in the bouncy house. Jill and I, we just want to relax in the bouncy house, man. We go early, we go late, we just hang out in the bouncy house just trying to fucking relax. 14 kids come in and jump around with their shoes off. Man, that's fucking gross and certainly not sanitary. And all I need is some kid to jump at the bounce house and land on my lap. Everybody goes, oh my god, he's fucking a kid in the bounce house, and then forget about it. You know what I won't fuck in the bounce house? A kangaroo. You see the fucking claws on those things? Holy Jesus. I gotta admit, if I tag a kangaroo in the bounce house, that whole thing's gonna go fucking up. He's gonna pop it, and then it's gonna collapse. And why did I pick male kangaroo? Why am I tagging a male kangaroo? Look, I don't know. I got preferences, but I mean, they're lady preferences. Whether it's a kangaroo it matters or not, I don't know. I'll let you know when I fuck one. All right, so Jill and I go into the ballpark. There's this huge line. We figured it's beer. Oh, fuck, hold on. So the open carry signs are everywhere, right? And another thing that they have signs there, they're like, you can't bring your gun in here, and also no public restrooms. In Texas, every like business or restaurant have signs, no public restrooms. And it's because in Austin, and Houston probably, the homeless problem is out of control. I mean, you think we got squirrels with irons in Southern California. These people, I mean, there's so many dudes. And again, it's because it's a fucking rowdy-ass town or rowdy-ass state. And look, you shouldn't have a homeless problem in an open carry state. If anything, they should be catch and release, right? Or hunt them down. Don't you want to play the world's most dangerous game? If you're giving everybody guns, you got homeless people. It just seems like it's a problem that would solve itself. I think I just endorsed anarchy, if I remember correctly. I did not endorse hunting humans. Not for sport. Well, no, for sport. Not for meat. For pets or meat. Humans available for pets or meat. That's Flint. And you can't eat those rabbits either now because the fucking water's so bad. It's just got to be eaten like a rotten egg. Ugh. Some tainted rabbit. Tainted rabbits. Now I get away. I want to. All right. From the pain you drive into the heart of me, tainted rabbit. So they got all those signs everywhere, but then here's the best part. They got signs that say no restrooms. So again, it's like, if you got a gun, you can't come in. If you got a cock, or you got to hit the head, you can't come in. And then they had this sign. This was my favorite thing. Pokemon Go for paying customers only. Oh, well, aren't you fancy? And I mean, I don't know what that means. Like, you have to come in and buy a pack of gum before you can catch a fucking Bulbasaur? I don't know. But that seems like a dick move. And who's enforcing that? Is there a Pokemon bouncer in your fucking joint? Oh, you know what would be fucking great? Here's what I would do. If you say no Pokemon Go unless you're a paying customer, I'd have like a big bouncer dude there, right? And if someone came in, and I'd have them look around, or I'd station a bunch of them. I had like 5 dudes, and they can't have guns, right? But if somebody's in there playing Pokemon Go, just have them whip a fucking red ball off their head. Catch that motherfucker, right? So if someone comes in playing Pokemon Go and they're looking around, just have like 5 dudes in there with fucking, and of course nobody knows what they are. They're just security. But if somebody whips out his phone and he's chasing and he hasn't bought anything yet, bam, boughten. I think I just said boughten. So he hasn't purchased anything yet. Just fucking whip a red ball right off of his head. Gotcha. You're not getting away, jiggly fuck. Boy, that's a whole new game. Boy, that's fun. How has that not happened yet? It probably already has. I know, I'm sure the internet is fucking everything at this point. There's got to be some dude out there just throwing red balls. Because there was a fighter who did it in Bellator. He fucking fractured a dude's skull, and then he did a Pokemon celebration after because he didn't realize that he had basically put his foot through the guy's cerebellum. It's fucking awesome. Go find it. It's a guy named Evangelista Cyborg Santos and MVP Michael Venom Page. Fucking Page. There's a video you got to see. All right, like I never even saw the TV angle. I didn't see the broadcast. But I saw vines from ringside, and you hear the dude's skull break because he just plants a head kick right in the flying knee right in the forehead, and his head just gets fucking smashed like dented like rotten fruit. It's the noise that's the thing, the fucking noise you hear, just like you hear it, dude. Because I've heard legs break and shit like that, but this dude's, you hear his skull fucking because it fractures. It's not like a crack. I mean, his skull just turns into Fruity Pebbles in the front, man. I mean, it's just like all these little bits and pieces and it fucking spider cracks. I mean, it is awful. But the best part of it is the guy has no fucking idea. He just knows he won the fight. So he smashes the guy with the flying knee. Santos goes down, and MVP like points at his corner immediately. He had this plan. He gets a Pokemon hat and he throws it on and he rolls a red ball at the dude. He finds out a day later the guy's got a fucking busted skull. Gorgeous. But I say we bring that into real life, man. Fucking have some bouncers in your goddamn store, and if somebody doesn't buy anything, just fucking hit them in the head with a goddamn red ball and go, "Hi, you're caught. Get the fuck out." Because nobody gets to get a fucking sneaky snake or whoever the fuck they got in there to catch. You got to pay. You want to play, you got to pay, baby. That's America. For you and me, ain't that America? Something to see, I'll tell you that, baby. It's home of the free. Little red balls for you and me. So. Yeah, but no Pokemon Go. That made me laugh. Unless for paying customers. What a fucking racket. So Jill and I go to the game. We walk in. There's a giant line, and we figure it's a beer line. But then we see a sign, and it says Dollar Dog Station. What? Excuse me? I think I mentioned I already got brisket potato on the fucking brain. But who's not going to eat dollar fucking hot dogs? We stumbled into it on a great day. So we get right in line. And this isn't even before I see our seats. We're just in the stadium. We see Dollar Dog. We fucking hop in. We get in line. We're standing there. We're waiting. We're moving. We're queuing. We're waiting. We're moving. We're queuing. And we get up. And there's like 8 people just churning fucking dogs out, man. Putting them in buns and sliding them through. And the limit was 4. But you would see people, a guy would bring his girlfriend and he'd have to carry all 8. So he's got 8 fucking dogs. Everybody is just loading up on these motherfuckers. So I bought 1 and Jill bought 2. That's right. Jill ate 2 dogs. I ate 1. Because we had already eaten a Mexican fucking meal. Dude, we had a stuffed avocado. You ever have that? Holy fuck. Somebody cut open an avocado, stuffed it with like shrimp and cheese, and then deep fried it in like panko crumbs. God damn it. Thank you, Mexico. Or Mexicans. Whoever the fucking invented it. But it came with a cup of tortilla soup, and then I ordered a fucking carnitas taco and the homemade tortillas. I forget the name of that joint, La Casa or some nonsense. But it was authentic and it was fucking delicious. And then we went to a ballpark and we ate dollar hot dogs. Jesus Christ. And then we had great seats. We watched the game, had a fun time, and then I was like, you know what? I'm hungry, because I only had 1 dog. So it gets to be like the 8th inning, and I'd asked Jill, I'm like, you want to take a walk? And I think we all know what happened the last time. She and I were like, hey, let's go eat something in a ballpark. Holy fuck. But things are much better now. At least on that front, they certainly are. When it comes to concessions, she and I have reached an agreement. So I go, hey, look, you want to go take a walk? You look around at more of the park? And we'd already seen a lot of it. And I said, I think I want that potato. I want to go take a look. And she's like, all right, well, let's go. So we walked down, because the game was out of hand. I mean, the fucking Astros beat the Yankees. Colby Rasmus hit a bomb, a Colby Jack, as they call it there. And we went around walking, and we went up to these security guards. I'm like, hey, dude, where can I get a brisket potato? He goes, oh, man, that's closed. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, they probably close around the 8th inning. He goes, but if you want it, it's over by, like, section 115. Now we're in section, like, 170. So we kind of hustle a little bit. We're walking, we're moving, we're zigging, we're zagging. And people are leaving the park because the game's already over. But then there's people just kind of standing around drinking, because that's what they do in fucking Texas when they don't have guns. So we're zooming through these people with beers, and they're standing around. And we finally get over there, and we see it. And there's one fucking concession stand. Everything else is getting locked up. Guys are cleaning, they're sweeping. But this one is open, and we get up there. And I say to the guy, Because now it's bottom of the ninth. By the time we get over there, as we walk, it's bottom of the ninth. The Astros are fucking closing it out. And 2 outs in the ninth, I walk up to the guy and I go, hey, are you guys still open? He goes, yeah. And I go, can I get a brisket potato? He goes, absolutely. Fuck yes! So they pull out the potato, and then they put some brisket in it. And I go, oh, can I get this loaded up? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, it comes with like sour cream and cheese and chive and all that, right? And he goes, And I'm not even kidding. He looks around, he doesn't see any toppings. So he yells for another guy. This guy comes over, he's like, I don't know where the toppings are. So like all of a sudden 4 dudes spring into action, they start looking for toppings. They call the manager over, and I mean, I get this entire concession stand, which is about to close, and everybody's trying to go home, looking for stuff. Because I said to him, I go, are there toppings? He goes, yeah, there's a topping bar over there. I turn around, there's a fucking empty space. And I said, dude, there's no topping bar. And that's when they whipped into action. That 4 dudes are sprinting around looking for bags. They open a bag of cheese. They open chives. They pour it in this fucking potato. There's brisket and the fucking sour cream. All of it. It's fucking beautiful. And as that's going on, the game ends. We look out. We see the fireworks as the fucking Astros clinch it and win. And then he hands me this fucking potato. And we go over to sit down and not sit down. We had to stand up and eat it. And I gave Jill a bite, and then I ate it. And I realized at that point, not everything I'd remembered, because my palate has changed since 2002 or whenever the fuck Jimmy and I were there. So in 14 years, my life has changed, and certainly my mouth has changed, and my tongue has changed. It's used to a lot better things in it, or on it, I suppose. So it was, you know what it was? It was a potato with fucking meat on it and cheese. That's all. But it was good. It was pretty goddamn good, but it wasn't like this be-all, end-all, because again, like I said, I've had soft-shell crab in San Francisco, ladies and gentlemen. So I can't be expected to swoon over a potato. Bullshit. Actually, if anybody can be expected to swoon over a potato, it's probably me. Right? There's another right for you. So we went to the game. Then we had to take an Uber home because we were Ubering in the cities. We got a car in Houston, but then I just didn't want to fucking drive because we landed in Dallas, and then we drove to Houston. We took the Uber to the game. And Jill and I have never had a good Uber. We had like one decent one, and that wound up being in Dallas. But everybody else is just... This one dude... He came to pick us up, and look, I'm an Uber driver, so I recognize this. He pulls up and he parks, like kitty corner from us, like across the street. And Jill and I are standing on the corner, and look, we're the only people there. You can't, there's nobody else there. And we had told him, we said, we're the only people on this corner at fucking, Dallas and 67th or wherever the fuck. And he pulls up, and Jill goes, is that him? And I go, I don't know. She goes, well, the app is saying that he's here. And we look over, and it's a white car, and we think, and all of a sudden he just flashes his lights at us. This motherfucker he wouldn't drive across the street to get us. Now, look, like I said, when I'm driving, it drives me crazy when I see people standing a foot away and they won't walk to the car. I get that. But we're actually across the street kitty corner, so we got to cross 2 crosswalks to get to him. Come get us, motherfucker. Like, what's your problem? Now, granted, I realize I may be the one with the problem here, because when I drive, I want people to just fucking land in my back seat, but when I'm being driven, I want somebody to fucking come get me and scoop me the fuck up. Yes, but I'm me. I'm special. I'm the fucking talent. You should pull the car right up. If not, get out and open the door and put me the fuck in it. But he was a decent guy other than that. He was chatty, and he was telling us that he's like, this is really good money, this ride. It was like a $15 ride. I'm like, fuck, I'm glad I'm not, it's not like that in LA. Although $15 rides are good in LA. But now that I'm all platinum and stuff like that, well, I'm not platinum anymore because I missed a week. Fuck, who cares? Nobody, not you. So the next day we got up, we drove to Austin, and we stayed at the Hilton there, which is fucking beautiful. Checked in, and that's where we had the pool upstairs, and we went right to the pool and fucking hung out, and then we went out to 6th Street that night and walked and walked and walked, and went to Voodoo Donuts. Holy fuck, dude! There's a Voodoo Donuts in Austin. Did you know that? Yeah, it was funny when we were driving. I said to Jill, I gave him go. I think there's a Voodoo Donuts there. And she looked it up. She goes, yeah, there's one in Austin, Texas. Holy fuck. So, of course, I took her there because that's who I am. I'm Captain Donut. That seems weird. What would Captain Donut even do? He just is super at making donuts or super at eating donuts? If it's super at eating donuts, then I'm definitely fucking Captain Donut. But we go to the joint, and it was so funny. We asked the dude in the hotel. We're like, hey, man, where's 6th Street? He's like, oh, man, you're on 4th Street. It's totally close. It's 2 blocks over. And we said, what's it like on a Thursday? He goes, well, it's probably going to be pretty dead. I don't think there'll be any live music or anything like that. But, you can walk around, have a good time. The bars will still be open. And it's so funny to me how everybody in this country thinks you want to get fucking crazy, polluted drunk. That's their deal. Because he said that. He's like, oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. There's a plenty of bars out there. He says, especially on a Friday. If you go there and you don't come back miserable, you're doing it wrong. No. If you come back miserable, I think you're absolutely fucking doing it wrong. That's when it's wrong, is when you're going there and you're fucking coming back miserable. Who the fuck goes out at night to want to be miserable? But you know what? Every young person. Because I told you, when I pick up dudes in the Uber, they're all just like, oh man, we're going to smash Pushy and let's get fucking Pushy. We're going to smash Pushy. That's a Pokemon, dude. That's what they're going to smash. Oh my god, we're going to crush Pushy. Which is different than kill Shorty, but not by much. Or different by get Shorty. Let's get Shorty. Let's get Pushy and kill Shorty. But they want to crush Pushy and get drunk. That's what they're all doing. So I guess that's their deal. Everybody wants to get fucking miserable. Well, Jill and I didn't. We just wanted to have a good time. So we went back out, went to 6th Street, walked around, went to Voodoo. Oh, there was a line, but I didn't give a fuck. And we got to the front of the line, and I wanted to buy a dozen donuts, which is ridiculous because Jill, she's gonna eat one, maybe two. But the last time I was in Portland, I went with Siegel and Russ McGarry. We went to we went to Voodoo Donuts. It was like my first stop. I'm like, we gotta go. So Russ had this tiny car, and we just go swirling around corners. We get there, and I bought 8 donuts for the room for me and Siegel. Terrible. So I'm eating the donuts, and they're all good. That was the point. When you got so many donuts, you got to try them all. But then they had a donut called the Mango Tango. It's a regular yeast donut. It's got vanilla frosting with like tang on top, and then it's filled with mango jelly. Dude, I've been into that thing. Holy Jesus. It was like somebody baked me a pussy. God damn it, it was delicious. I couldn't wait to put my tongue in it. It was so fucking good. And so, in Portland, the night before my show at Bridgetown, I went back to Voodoo Donuts, and I bought 6 Mango Tangos. Even with 8 other donuts in the room, I just bought 6 Mango Tangos, and I ate them all night, and I wrote. I just was writing the show and putting the show together for the next day, and I ate 6 fucking Mango Tango donuts in my room. Holy God, you have no idea. Because again, they each got to weigh a half a pound. I mean, they're that because they filled them with that fucking mango jelly, and I didn't care. I was just eating a box of pussies. God damn it, they were so good, so good. So when Jill and I went there, I'm like, we're getting a Mango Tango definitely. And I wanted to order 1,000,000 donuts, but then she's just like, honey, we probably shouldn't do that because we had, like I said. In Austin, I should tell where do we go eat in Austin the first day? Fuck. When we drove from Houston to Austin, we stopped somewhere along the fucking way. God damn it, I don't remember. Did we eat at Frank? No, we had Mexican. Fuck, I don't even know, dude. Because we ate so much fucking food. That's what we did when we were out there. We ate at a place called Frank. It had like antelope sausage and rabbit sausage and shit like that. But we got like a pork and beef and sage sausage that had macaroni and cheese and barbecue sauce on it. Holy God, was it good! And we got that. That was late at night. We had already eaten Voodoo Donuts and everything else. That was the first fucking night. I'm like, hey, that place is right around the corner. We started Googling stuff. We found out all the places I wanted to fucking go were right within this 1 mile radius. And we walked. And by the way, we walked, which is good. It was good training for me for fucking Kuwait because holy fuck, Texas. Texas is just like Kuwait Junior with no Muslims. Although I think there's Muslims that are just fucking hiding. Because like I said, everybody's got a gun. Now, if everybody had red balls, it'd be a lot safer for the Muslims. Although, I'll tell you what, they get away when you try to capture him. Bounce a fucking red ball off a Muslim's head. You're not going to fucking capture him. He's going to split. Fuck, now I'm pissed. Where did we eat on Thursday? We drove from Houston down to Austin, or up to Austin. Up? Yeah. We ate the Mexican joint the day before. Fuck, I don't remember. But I know we were full and it didn't matter because we still got donuts. And Jill there was a breakfast donut there. It was a blueberry cake donut with a maple frosting and sea salt on it. God damn it. And then Jill got a chocolate cayenne pepper donut. Of course she did, because that's what she eats, ghost peppers. That's her deal. She's like, hey, you guys got ghost peppers and anything? What do you got? I don't care. What is it? What's that, a puppy? Does it got ghost peppers in it? I'll fucking tear it apart with my fucking perfect teeth. That's who Jill is. She doesn't give a fuck. She just eats hot peppers and goes to work and makes everybody gasp as they can't believe that this fucking tiny woman is putting shit away. But she does, and she is. So we walked through 6th Street. We had a good time. Except we had the fucking sausage. We went to Voodoo Donuts. We saw, and this guy was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be dead down there. You're not gonna find any live music." There was live music in fucking Voodoo Donuts, dude. There was live music fucking everywhere. We're walking through up and down. We went into the fucking Alamo Draft House. There was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man there, an inflatable one, And I go, we got to get a fucking photo. We saw it from the outside. I go, we got to get a photo. So I made this lovely little bartender woman take a photo of the two of us. And it was too dark, but I didn't give a fuck. I posted it anyway. And then someone wrote on it, Mike, how did you not fucking deflate this and steal it? You're right. I don't know. I don't know how I fucking didn't. If I'd have been alone, maybe I'd have thought about it. With Jill, I don't want to put her in that fucking weird thing. Someone's got to bail me out. And if she's with me, she's an accomplice. If she's back at the hotel, I could fucking pop the thing and then steal it and run. Run in Texas heat. Jesus Christ. I got to be honest. Like I said, it was just Junior Kuwait. It was close. Does that make sense to you? It was stiff. It was like being in a swimming pool with no water. And you know that. I mean, I love Texas heat. I love heat, period. You know, I like it 95 to 100. I don't know if I'm going to like it 130 in fucking Kuwait, but we'll see. But yeah, like it was 99, 98, 100 degrees the whole time we were there. But then at night, it would get down to like 85 to 88 with a breeze, which was still, so that was really nice. But you're still sweating like a motherfucker. You know, I bring a wash rag with me and I'm mopping my brow like a politician in the 60s, like some guy opposing segregation. That's what I was doing. I might as well have had a fucking linen suit on as I mopped my brow. And now see here, sir, because it was fucking hot and sweaty. But we had a fucking great time, man. We stopped. You know, Jill got a PBR. We went to Coyote Ugly because they had $2 PBRs. We didn't give a fuck about coyotes or ugliness, but we just wanted a $2 beer. And I wanted to stop with Jill for a beer, and she thinks that's so weird, but I just think it's fucking grown up and sexy. It's like, hey man, you want to stop and get a drink? Because I don't do that shit. I don't go to bars. I don't do any of that. But do it with her especially is the best because she's got her fucking perfect mouth and she drinks a goddamn PBR. And again, she, granted, I don't know if that's a shit beer or hipster beer or whatever the fuck. I wouldn't know because all beer tastes the same to me. But it was great. And we get there and there's people dancing on the bar, and Jill had like this really tiny skirt on. I'm like, you know what, you gotta get. Oh no, she didn't wear the tiny skirt. She wore the tiny skirt earlier, and I was like, you know what, you gotta wear that tiny skirt and dance in the bar. That's gonna be the move. I don't know why. I don't know. I want a bar full of dudes fucking ogling my girl. That seems ridiculous. It says a lot more about me than it should. But then you get to scoop her off the bar and take her the fuck out of there. Everybody's like, oh man, what's you got that I ain't got? I got that fucking chick. That's what I got. Fucking awful. So, but we had a great time at 6th Street in Austin. And the next day we were going to Franklin Barbecue, which is fucking huge because it's the best barbecue in the world, from what I understand. And I think Aaron Franklin is the name of the guy, James Beard Award winner, master pitmaster. And we were told that the line starts early. So they open at 11:30, and we got up in the morning, we went to the hot tub, and we went to the pool, and which was awesome. We were there from like 8:30 to 9:30, and we putted around the room a little bit. And we might have had sex a couple of times. I don't know. I don't know why that's important to tell you guys that. I guess that's kind of the verbal equivalent of having my girl dance on the bar. But we were ready to go because, again, like I said, they open at 11:30. This is the line starts early. Well, it's fucking Friday, so we're like, well, it can't start that fucking early, of course. So we leave the hotel room at 11, and we're gonna walk. By the way, now the night before we walked all over. And my back stiffened up kind of in the middle of the night, but it's okay. And Jill rubbed it out for me, and it's just I'm too big, and especially for walking. I mean, I used to walk all the time, and I felt good about it. And now I can walk, but then there's price to pay. There's consequences. So my back stiffened up in the morning, and Jill walked on it a little bit and straightened out. We got up, like I said, went to the hot tub, limbered up, showered, went over to Franklin Barbecue. We left the room at 11. Now, when we walked on 6th Street the night before, like I said, it was about 85 and humid. Well, it's now daytime in Texas, and we walk out of the hotel, and holy fuck. It was, remember I said it was like a swimming pool, but with no water? Yeah. Well, this time it was like, I'm going to say, a boiling tea kettle with no water. It was just like a steam room. You walk outside, it's just fucking hot. It's that kind of hot where you hear noises for no reason, like weird cicada noises and shit. So we're walking, and Franklin's about 8/10 of a mile from the hotel. But it's not really an easy walk. It's not like all sidewalks and fun bars. You got to walk on a frontage road. You're basically right by a highway where cars are going 50 miles an hour. And I'm walking and she's walking, and she finally looks at me and she's like, Jesus Christ, are you all right? Because I kept teasing her the night before. I would make a face and I'd like kind of sag, pretending that I was hurt. But this day, we're walking. And like I said, I can do it. I'm walking. I'm fine. I'm not in pain. But I'm dripping. I mean, I am pouring fucking sweat. My shirt is soaked, and we're not even going a mile, and we're walking in the heat and just hearing fucking roaring crickets or whatever the fuck that noise is. Just the heat noise. And she keeps looking at me. She's going, honey, are you okay? We can get a car. Are you okay? We can stop and get a car. I go, honey, I'm fine. That's why I had to try to tell her. I go, listen, if I'm having problems, I'll tell you. I go, I can make this. I'm walking. I'm not comfortable, but that's okay. I mean, I'm fine. I'm not hurting. I'm not going to swoon and fall apart. So finally, I got her to understand that it was cool. We're walking, heading to Franklin Barbecue. Now, again, it's open at 11:30. We understood the line starts early, so we left at 11. It took us about 20 minutes to get there, so it's 11:20. As we come around the corner, we see a bunch of people on the porch. And I'm like, well, that's not so bad. And then as we get closer, we see that the line on the porch extends down the stairs, under the porch, and then around a second porch. And as we get closer, we see there's people with fucking chairs sitting down in the line, with umbrellas to keep the sun off of them, with coolers and beer koozies, and they're camped the fuck out. Like when I used to go sleep out for concert tickets as a kid, these people are here for a sandwich, motherfucker. These people are here for ribs. And again, I heard amazing things about it, and I heard people lined up early. But to me, early means they start lining up around 11 o'clock when they open at 11:30. No fucking way. These people had been there since 9 a.m. in that heat. Then I tried to fucking walk in and looked fucking, I'm dripping like a motherfucker, and leaving DNA all over the goddamn state. These people are just sitting there, and they're used to it. They're fucking lined up. There's got to be, I'm going to say there's 150 people in line. Easy. Maybe more. There might even be 200. I mean, it's this deep, because it's wide, almost as wide as it is deep. Because it starts on the porch, it goes down, it goes around the porch, it goes underneath another porch, and there's people sitting there, and they're celebrating. There's almost like beach balls. It was like that atmosphere before a concert where they're all tailgating, but they're just out there. They're tailgating for pork. So we get to the end of the fucking line, and I'll tell you what, there were all these other things. There was like a coffee house, and it said Legends Coffee around the corner. In my head, I'm like, maybe some of these people are here for coffee. Maybe it's the best coffee in the world too. James Beard Award winner for making coffee. But nope. Everybody's there for the barbecue. And we get to the end of the line, and we turn around and we stand there, and there's a guy in an apron, and he goes, hey, folks, how are you? We go, great, we're looking forward to this. He goes, well, have you heard? And we said, no, we just got here. He says, well, unfortunately, you will not be dining with us today. We've cut off the line. So today's quota has been met, but we thank you, and if you want to come back another time, that'd be fantastic. I mean, he was really friendly about it, but they cut off the fucking line. And by the way, two people got in line before us. We get in line right behind him. That's when he cut off the line. He's like, have you heard the news? I'm like, well, and then when I thought about it later, I'm like, well, how will we hear the news? We're the first people you cut off. And then I'm like, maybe he thinks we're Yankees. That's what it is. They're chasing us because we're fucking Yankees, and he knew it. I will tell you this was cool. Because normally, you know me, I get all frustrated with that kind of shit. But I'm like, fuck, I understood. But as we're going to leave, a woman comes out, and she's passing out samples to people in line just to keep them happy. And it was a hunk of sausage with white bread wrapped around it, but it was wrapped up in brown paper, so the white bread had a chance to get soft and kind of melt into the sausage. And so she comes out to pass it out, and I look and I go, "Is there any way we could get one of those?" And she gave one to me and Jill, and we started walking away. And goddamn, I'll tell you what, it was a quarter piece of sausage on a fucking hunk of white bread, but goddamn was it good. And I'm not even like a sausage guy at the barbecue joint, but I would have gotten it. I would have actually bought it just from that fucking sample. Whatever else we would have gotten, I would have thrown a sausage on the top just to fuck around. But we just literally turned around and walked away. And we're walking, and Jill's like, I can't do this. We got to get a car or something. And fortuitously, we turned the corner, and there was a cab. Waved at the guy, and he took us right back to the hotel. It's a mile ride, but it doesn't matter. It just felt like being a king. After walking there in the heat and pouring sweat everywhere, getting a free piece of sausage and then getting a ride back to the hotel, that was worth it. I walked a mile for a sausage. And then took a cab ride back, air-conditioned cab ride. Because I'm like, I'm on vacation, what the fuck, let's do it. So he takes us back to the Hilton, and then Jill's like, what do you want to do? I said, man, I don't know, we were going to go eat somewhere. There's that other place we heard about around the corner, and instead we Googled best barbecue in Austin, and the consistent number 2 on Bon Appetit and all these other lists, Eater Texas and, whatever, and Barbecue Monthly, the Smoke Gazette, the Brisket Times, the Sauce Dispatch. We're reading all of them. We're checking out all of their lists. The Coleslaw Tribune. We're looking at all of it, baby. And we're like, all right, the consensus second place joint was a place called La Barbecue. So we decided to head down there. And this is my birthday, by the way. I mean, I'm like, fuck it. Let's just go to this barbecue joint. We get there, and it's a food trailer. There's a ton of those in Austin. There's food trucks, but this is a food trailer. Like, I don't think it's mobile. I think it's just parked there. It might drive. I have no clue, but there's big smokers and shit. So we get there, and they got a fucking line, too. I mean, they've got about 65 people in line. So we get to the end of that, and the end of this line is in the sun. So we're standing there, and we're just dripping, and we're sweating, and we're exhausted, and we're not even doing anything. You know, it's that thing where you get tired out just from the atmosphere, man. Fuck. And then as we're moving up, all of a sudden, then we're under our canopy, and you get a little rejuvenated. And I had this thing that happened all week long. You know, we'd be driving. We'd have to drive 230 miles. Well, I can do that standing on my fucking head. But right when you get to about the 210-mile mark, you get antsy. You're like, fuck, I just want to get there now. There's only 20 miles left. Yeah, I know, fuck, but I just want to fucking get out of here. Fuck, we're close. We're so fucking close. And it was like that with this line, because we wind up in line, and as we're getting closer, there's only like 8 people between us in the front. I'm like, all right, now we got to fucking go. Now I can't. We got get these people out of here. And they were doing the best they could to churn the fucking line, but then people would get to the front and they'd have a million questions. And it's like, dude, it's fucking barbecue. How many fucking questions could you have? It's beef and it's pork and it's sauce and it's good. Just fucking get it. It's number 2 on all the lists. Christ almighty. Didn't you read the rib post? So, the baby bags post? So we get to the front, and now there's only 2 people. There's one person at the window and then 2 more people ahead of us. And it's this woman, and she starts asking fucking questions. And she's asking about the turkey, and she's asking about the slaw, and she's asking about the buns and the bread. And people are starting to revolt, man. We're like, throw her on a fucking spit and cook her the fuck up. She's with her kids, and they're taking photos with selfies, and they're taking photos inside the trailer. It's like, man, we're hungry, and we've been in the fucking heat. Just get the fuck out of our way. You want to take pictures, that's fine, but wait till the fucking end. Wait till everybody in this fucking line gets their food. Because now, like I said, there's only a few people ahead of us, but there's 65 people behind us, and they're fucking hot, and they're sweaty. Dudes would walk up in like full-on like dress shirts with suit pants, and Jill just goes, nope, not having it. I can't believe they're doing that. And we're like, no fucking kidding. What the hell? So we finally get to the fucking window, and you're just sweaty and you're exhausted after we wanted to kill that woman. Another dude fucking comes up with an order on the phone, and he doesn't read an order. He shows the phone to the woman. Dude, I don't care where you fucking work. If you send a deaf mute to pick up your lunch order, you don't get lunch that fucking day. If this guy can't fucking read, why has he got a goddamn cell phone? But he's holding up the text and he's going, I don't know what this means. Here, can you make any sense out of it? What do you mean, can you make any sense out of it? Just read it the fuck and order your fucking food, you dick. You're holding up the goddamn line. Throw him on the spit. Put them all on the fucking spit. Serve some long pig to these fucking people. That's what happens. If you hold up the line, it's long pig for everybody. We finally get to the window, and without even asking a question, a woman goes, hi, how are you? And she just puts over 2 hunkets burning love. She throws 2 hunks of brisket down. She goes, here you go, this is our brisket. And I already, Jill had decided on a sandwich. I had decided I wasn't sure I was going to get a brisket sandwich or just brisket. But she hands us these pieces of brisket, and I got to tell you, I mean, they were just, they were half a thumb. But they had bark on them, and fat, and smoke. And when you ate it, you felt smarter. I mean, you felt fatter, certainly, but you felt smarter. You felt like all things were possible. Oh, my God. What an ethereal piece of beef. I just... All I can think of is this cow he never stood up. This cow just laid around and got massaged by girls. And he actually got to fuck human women. That's the kind of life that this cow lived. The milk he gave... Oh my God, the milk he gave must have been the nectar of the gods, because he, she, it, whatever, I don't know, but he was turned into something great. And even if he was a jagoff cow, I don't fucking know, but he got turned into something fucking perfect. Because I ate it, and Jill looked at me, and Jill's eyes kind of like rolled a little bit, like, oh my God. And I was like, dude, it was fucking perfect. And look, I've had a ton of brisket, you know what I mean? I used to work at a barbecue joint, and their brisket was good. Sometimes it'd be dry. There was nothing to be said about this brisket except, oh my God, it was crazy. It was like eating God's toe. Holy fuck, it was so good. So they give us the hunks, and I get Jill's sandwich. I ordered brisket. I went, look, and I said to her, I go, hey, can I get 1 spare rib? She goes, of course you can. Like, I was expecting there to be an argument, because they had ribs, and the ribs were like, there was 12 ribs in a rack, and 4 ribs was a pound, and it was like $17.50 a pound. So like a rack of ribs had been $60. Holy fuck. So, so I said, hey, is there a way to just get one spare rib? And she goes, yes. And I was like, oh my God, it's perfect. Because they also had beef ribs. And I mean a beef rib that just looked like a baseball bat with a fucking monkey clinging to the side of it. That's how much meat was on it. It was gigantic. It looked like a sword that you'd already cleaved through somebody and all of their guts had come out hanging off of it. But delicious guts with a bark and a smoke ring. Oh, man. People would be getting them, and you just hear it thud when they put it on their fucking tray. Dude, what a fucking food experience. So, so I said, well, look, all right, I just want like a third of a pound of brisket, and I just want one spare rib. And she goes, great. And then Jill got a sandwich called like the La Conchera. Dude, this sandwich had pulled pork, chopped beef, which is the brisket chopped and tossed in sauce, pulled pork, chopped beef, black bean salad, cilantro slaw, coleslaw, Fritos, pickled onions, pickled jalapenos. So this woman just starts stacking that up. And she's putting it on top of one another. And then she mixes it up with her gloved hands and just makes like a delicious baby skull. That's how big it was. It was about as big as a baby's skull. This before it even went on, I even went on the bun. And it had Fritos. Did I say Fritos? Holy fuck, there's Fritos in it. For crunch and salt and corn and texture. God damn it. So she's mixing it up. I'm looking at it. I'm just staring at it. And I go, God. I actually said, God damn. When she's making it. She goes, oh, you picked a very famous sandwich. She goes, we've had people flying from Philadelphia just to eat and order this sandwich. And Jill can't even see, by the way. She's too small. I wanted to pick her up. I'm like, you want to look? And she's like, no, I can't wait to see it finished. Because I get to watch the chick build it. And it was just, I can't imagine Frank Lloyd Wright designed anything as gorgeous as this fucking sandwich. He might have drawn it, but they never built it. This fucking chick finally gave it life. She plunged her hands in there, she mixed it up, and just made this fucking meat cantaloupe of deliciousness, and she slammed it on a bun and wrapped it in butcher paper, and then they gave me my food, and we walked over, we got some waters, and we got it to go, and we went to the car. And because it was fucking hot. I mean, we had forgotten how hot and sweaty it was. We had forgotten about the heat because we were transported away to barbecue fucking Jesus. But we took our food and we went to the car, the rental car. I got to tell you, if you rent a car in Texas and it smells delicious, it was mine. Because if you get a very delicious Mazda 3 or Mazda 6 or whatever the fuck I had, oh my Christ, you'll know. Because we sat in the car and we sushi. That's what we ate that one day. We ate fucking car sushi. Hi. All right, forget it. Sorry I said it. When I said I was full, because Jill fed me sushi while you were driving, and she learned how to use chopsticks. Finally. Hey Jamie. She didn't even use the fucking training wheels. Like we were driving, here's the thing: we're driving on the freeway, and I'm trying to explain to her how to use chopsticks, and it's been fucking 5 years. I've tried to get her to use chopsticks. I even bought her chopsticks to practice with at the house. I gave her some, but she wouldn't. She's just like, nah, I'm not gonna be good at it. I'm like, what the fuck? Just do it. Pick them up and make it. Just drive. Use your middle finger to drive. Use your thumb to hold and pick stuff up. And she just wouldn't give it a go. But in the car, finally, because she didn't have a fork or anything, she. Because I wanted to take, and also because I wanted to take a fucking picture of her. I want to take a picture of you feeding me sushi. So we're driving on 35 or whatever the fuck, as we're heading from Houston to Austin, and or was this from Dallas to Houston? I don't fucking know. All I know is she's working chopsticks, and unbelievable, she did it. She did it in like a minute. I said, all you gotta do is try, see? Because I just wanted to take a sexy photo of her holding up chopsticks, feeding me fucking sushi while I drove. Meanwhile, certainly I'm swerving through all 4 fucking lanes and getting in people's ways. I could be getting in their ways as well. But I'm getting in their ways. I truly was in the app. They're like, watch out for the fuckstick whose girlfriend is feeding him sushi. That was actually on the Waze app. But I was swerving. I really was. I kept catching myself swerving. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Pay attention to the goddamn road. I'm too casual when I drive. I'm just like, oh, well, throw the cruise on and just fucking go to sleep. You can't do that, dummy. But they made this fucking barbecue sandwich, and holy Jesus, it was so goddamn good. I mean, it was ridiculous. And we sat down, and I opened up my brisket. First, I ate the spare rib, and I gave Jill a bite. She's just like, Jesus Christ. It was that thing where you just keep eating, and you sound like you're getting fucked. You're just like, oh, really? Oh, my God. That's what I sound like when I'm getting fucked. So I'm eating the rib, and I gave her some, and then she opens up the sandwich, and we just get, brisket sauce and grease and all this all over the fucking car, but we didn't care. And I bought pickles too. They had homemade dill pickles, so with the brisket and the pickles, it cut right through the fat. But it just was so goddamn good. And that sandwich was a miracle. That sandwich was just legendary. It was the most delicious baby skull I've ever eaten in my life. Because again, it had the pulled pork and the chopped beef in there, And then the Fritos. You know, if you bid it and you got a Frito, because normally, because Jill puts sandwiches on her chips or chips on her sandwiches anyway. That's her fucking deal. Well, I don't. That's not my. I'm just always like, oh, whatever. That's ridiculous. I just don't even see the point. It's not like I think it's stupid or anything, but I'm just like, not for me. No, I think Fritos are a must. Fritos are now a must on every goddamn sandwich. Gee, as long as it's like got like juice and it's fucking juicy, brothy. That seems wrong, brothy. But fucking like saucy. As long as you got a saucy sandwich, you throw some Fritos on there. But yeah, goddamn, it was so good, and it was so good that I had 2 bites of it, but then she ate the whole fucking thing. And like I said, it was a baby skull, man, but she put it away. So we finished eating, and she looked at me and she just goes, I need a fucking nap. I go, yeah, me too. Fuck yeah. And we did. We drove back to the hotel, and just that's the most luxurious thing you could possibly do. On vacation, we went back, and the two of us just got naked and climbed into bed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and just laid there. Oh my God, and just because we were exhausted from standing there. And she kept saying, I don't know why I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm so wiped out. I don't know why I'm so tired. Well, because we're standing in the fucking sun, honey. We walked almost a mile in the sun. Well, we walked basically a mile in the sun, 95-degree heat, walking through the ocean. And then we stood in it, whether we were under a canopy or not. And then we just ate fucking 8 pounds of pork. Fuck. I mean, we're dehydrated. We're exhausted. We ate 8 pounds of pork. And so we were going to go back. Oh, I should tell you this, by the way. Before we went and took the nap, well, Voodoo Donuts were good, but we had heard about this place called Gordo's Donuts. And I'm sorry, Gordo's Big Fat Donuts. So when we finished the barbecue, we're driving, and I'm like, hey, should we go get donuts? And Jill's like, yes. Like, that's the best part. She doesn't even fucking think about it. Yes, absolutely. So we went to Gordo's Public Donuts. It was a trailer, and I got something called the Dirty Berry. It was a fudge donut with fudge topping and fucking grilled strawberries. And she got Granny's Pie, which was a fucking, like a donut with fucking graham cracker crumbs and sauteed bananas. Holy fuck. So we order it, and we're sitting there waiting. We're in the heat. We're about to pass the fuck out. And the guy calls my name because Jill's like, it's his birthday, because we had to have a cake of some kind. Jill was mad that she didn't get me a fucking cake. I'm like, you got me cake the last 2 years. She goes, yeah, but now that's tradition. I go, tradition is being with you. Cake happens, whatever the fuck. But seriously, I just want to be with you. As long as you're with me, that's fine. We're having a good birthday. But she was still disappointed. So we stopped and got these donuts. The guy hands me the bag. There's 2 donuts in it. I had to weigh 2 pounds. I'm not even fucking joking. 2 fucking pounds. I walk over to Jill and I go, here, this is 2 donuts. I grab it to her and she goes, oh my God. What did we do? And I go, I have no idea. We got to the room. We didn't even eat them. Like I said, we just got naked and climbed into bed. Slept a couple hours to get ready to go back out that night, trying to figure out what we were going to do. And we were meeting our friend Liana. It was my birthday, and Liana, as you all know, #1 fan of the show, and #1 friend of the show, our good friend Liana Dixon. We were going to meet her for dinner. And like I said, we ate that barbecue, and we had those fucking donuts, and we were still going out to dinner with Liana at 6 at a place called Guantanamera. Guantanamera. I kept doing that whenever Jill said the name of the restaurant, and she would just laugh, and I go, it's a song, it's a famous song. There's actually a clip of Paul Stanley doing it live in Costa Rica or something. She's like, I don't care. I stopped listening at famous song. Guantanamera. She's like, are you going to do that when we walk in the restaurant? I go, of course I am. And I did. We walked in, I opened the door, I went, Guantana, and then everybody looked at me and I stopped. Because that's not my town. If I'm in my town, I could sing Guantanamera wherever the fuck I want, but it's not my town. Who knows? There might be an anti-Guantanamera. And plus, it's an open carry fucking town. Someone shoots me in the face for singing some foreign song. Who's that? It's Muslim. They blast me. Fuck that. So we walk into Guantanamera, which is Cuban food. And we had an awesome birthday dinner with Liana and her boyfriend Grayson. The two of us walk in, Jill and I, and there's Liana. They beat us there, and Jill was pissed. But we walked in, and there's Liana and Grayson, and I get introduced. Hi, Grayson, how are you? I hug Liana. Liana meets Jill for the first time, and then we say hi to Grayson. And we sit down, and we order some Cuban food. Jill had some ropa vieja. We had some, what do we have? Some ceviche. We had some guacamole with plantain chips. And I'm talking to Grayson, talking about his job, figuring out all about himself, talking to Liana. She's a lawyer down there now. She was in school when I met her the first time. And this is my second birthday, I think, with Liana. She came to Philadelphia. She made cupcakes for everybody. She's the best. We're the best. All of us are the best. You know who's the best? Grayson. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say this. Fuck Grayson. You know why? Because about halfway through dinner, Liana goes, hey, are you calling him Grayson? And I said, yeah. She goes, his name is Bryson. Dummy. So that's why I say fuck Grayson. But you know who's great? Bryson. Bryson's the fucking best. I'm calling him Grayson. And he's too polite to stop me because he doesn't fucking know me. Liana barely knows me. She knows me from the show. But neither one of them, I mean, Liana finally did. But she finally, what are you calling him? What, like, do you know his name? And I said, yeah, it's Grayson. She goes, no, it's Bryson. So I'll tell you what, Grayson's a fucking dick, but Bryson, now that guy I can get on board with. We had a great dinner, and like I said, Jill had the ropo vieja. Liana did too. I had the fucking pork thing. I forget what it is, stewed pork. Cocho Leon. I don't fucking know. But literally, Jill and I ate like 4 bites of our food, and then we had to give it away. And not because of the fucking barbecue. We had sufficiently napped that off. But there was just so much fucking food, man, with guac and ceviche. And then they bring us this pile of food with, like, you know, mixed up rice and beans and plantains. And Jill got yuca, and that was a mistake. She's just like, this is just like eating a shape because it had no taste to it. They're supposed to put butter and garlic and all that stuff on there. Fuck that. They didn't do anything. It was just like eating white. It was just like eating a fucking, it was a tuber or a root or whatever the fuck yuca is, but it was a mess. It was like eating fucking chalk. No, it didn't have that kind of consistency, but it looked like chalk, certainly. But we had a great dinner. We had fucking birthday dinner was fantastic. And then Jill and I were like, well, let's go, you know, what are we going to do? We're going to go to a movie. We're going to kill some time. We're going to go to 6th Street. And then, you know what we did? We went back to the hotel and we went to the hot tub. And because that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to fucking relax. I didn't need to be out in the street. I didn't need to be there where people were shooting people. Because that happened after we bailed. People were shooting people on 6th Street, man. What the fuck? It was crazy. Luckily, we missed it. We stayed in that night, and we went to the hot tub. And we get to the hot tub, it's like, you know, 10 o'clock, and there's kids there. And not super young, but just like high school kids. And we get into the hot tub, and there's this girl there with a couple of guys, like 3, you know, little high school people, or just after high school, 18, 19. But this chick was just a bruiser. I mean, she was 6'3", and you know what she was, man? She was a bro. Like I always talk about the young bros and all the dude bros who get in my fucking car. She was a bro. Jill and I are in the hot tub, and she's sitting there, and she's clearly like the boss of her gang with the guys. Like when she's hanging with them, and they're not even. She's saying fuck and this, and they're not even flinching. Like she talks just like them. It was hysterical. The 2 best things that she said were, at one point this kid looked at her. You know how, because women, they're demure, or they allow men to be idiots, and they kind of like tee it off, but she was having none of it. It was fucking beautiful, because this dude goes, well, you know, we were at a hot tub at a place called La Frontera once, and she goes, where? And he goes, La Frontera. She goes, oh, and he goes, well, you don't know where that is. And she goes, what? And he goes, do you know where La Frontera is? And she goes, no, I don't know where La Frontera is. I only lived there for 12 fucking years. Like right in his face. And Jill and I just kind of like, huh? Blinked. But it was beautiful, because and they didn't flinch. They weren't like, oh, sorry. They just, she was the boss, man, and you could clearly tell that she was the boss. So they were talking about a friend of theirs who had a kid, and I didn't hear this, but Jill heard it, because I saw Jill's eyes get wide, and I was like, what? And she goes, I can't, I just, I'm not, yeah. And because the girl was right next to her, and if Jill would have said something, she probably smashed the shit out of both of us. Because I mean, honestly, that was a girl who would have kicked my ass. She was easily 6'3", and she probably weighed 175, but she wasn't like fat at all. She was just like kind of muscle. Like big legs. She looked like probably a basketball player, a college basketball player. I don't fucking know, man. All I know is then she gets out of the hot tub with her friend, and Jill starts laughing. And I go, what? And she goes, you didn't hear what she said about the kid? And I said, no. And she goes, oh, they were talking about their friend who had a baby. And she said, nah, yeah, that's not fucking happening. I'm not having a baby. No kids walking out of this box. And she said, like the guys, because the guys didn't even flinch. They were just having a conversation. But Jill flinched, and when I saw it, I go, what? And she goes, I can't tell you. I can't tell you now. I have to. Because she's like, part of me doesn't want her to hear me talk, because she would fucking lose her mind. And then part of me can't say this without laughing. No kids walking out of this box. Fuck. But it was fantastic, man. We did that, and then it was an amazing birthday and an amazing trip. I loved seeing Liana. I had a great time in Texas. Yeah, and I'll talk more about Dallas and stuff like that in the coming weeks, because we have more trip now ahead of us. Actually, I'm on a plane for New York today, so I'm excited, man. We're going to New York. We're meeting a listener. Steven is going to be there, and I think we're going to have dinner with him or lunch with him in Chinatown. We're going to a couple of games. We got DC. We got a film festival. We got all sorts of fucking cool stuff. So I'm having the best time, and I want to thank everybody out there who sent birthday wishes and said things on Facebook and sent me texts and sent me. It's so weird, man. Again, I'm 49 years old. I tell my mom all the time, birthday doesn't matter, because it really doesn't. You know, you're just getting older, and things are just passing by, and it's just another year down. But it's also not that unspecial. I mean, it's pretty cool. And it's even more cool when people like you guys step up and tell me happy birthday, and you send me neat things. And send me gifts, and you're really great. So I had a fantastic birthday. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the show next year. I mean, because it should come in, it'll be probably episode 12 or whatever, 11 of year 10. And I don't know if there'll be some grandiose announcement. I don't know if we'll change it. I don't know if we'll ever change it. I don't know. Hell, I might not be doing it. I might die in fucking New York. That's probably grim to say. I shouldn't say that at all. It's not like it's Austin where people are shooting everybody. And I can tell you this, I'm not going to run into the fucking walking out of the box chick there unless she hears this fucking show and comes looking for me. That'd be fucking beautiful. But that's one ass whooping I'd have to take because, man, she was a strapping young buck. Or doe. She was a strapping young doe. But thank you for all the birthday stuff. That's really cool. And for now, it's still the 40-year-old boy, and at least for the next year. But next year, who knows? And I'm taking votes. I'm taking suggestions. And if any of you suggest, hey, man, just fucking stop talking, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. You guys can get me at mike@mikeshmidtcomedy.com. You guys can be my friend at facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow me at twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. Our friend David Hernandez is the guy who does all the artwork and cool stuff for this show. You can get him at artbydmh.com. You can find him at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. Do that, please. Find him, buy stuff. It's cool. He sells paintings. He sells guyscapes and valcons or valscapes and guycons. All that stuff is available for sale at artbydmh.com. Find him, and that's cool. Our great friend Brian Dirks does all the web stuff for the show. Thank you, Ryan. You're the best. And also you can follow me at Instagram.com/40YOBMike. Or Mike40YOB. Let me double check while we're sitting here. I will go ahead and grab my phone and open it up. Hey, Jeremiah, you just followed me on Instagram. Thanks, man. That'll let you know exactly when I was recording the show. If you're Jeremiah, anybody else, it will mean fuck all to you, actually. That's my travel pod. Wait, let's go to the social media pod and open Instagram and see exactly what my name is, because this is really good podcasting when you do this sort of thing. Me, I am Mike40YOB. So follow me at Mike40YOB. That's at Instagram.com. A lot of you have, and I've posted just a couple of photos, but I'll try to do more from New York and things like that. It's weird because Instagram shares with Facebook and it fucks it up. It cuts the head off the photos. So whatever, but I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to learn it at 49. So please follow me at all those places. Follow Ryan and follow Dave. And also our great friend Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. Remember that Lily has a Patreon page. That's patreon.com/Lily. Or maybe patreon.com/Lily Von Stupp. But I think it's patreon.com/Lily, Lili. But check that out and go ahead and support her in all of her endeavors. And if you want to find her, she's at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp, but you can't be her friend. You can look at it, though. And then you can follow her at several different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/MNTs, twitter.com/Boobdini, and twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. And if you'd like to write her a personal note and ask her why the fuck she still has a Hollywood BQ Fest fucking Twitter account when the Hollywood Burlesque Festival isn't going on for another 2 years, you can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com. Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. Great shows, great women, half naked, mostly naked, all naked. Nobody's all naked, but it doesn't matter. Maybe you go in there one night, maybe somebody does get naked. Maybe you get naked. How about that? You go there and you bring nudity to the forefront. Make sure everybody sees you naked, and then you'll get arrested. But at least it's not Texas, where you would get shot. So the Monday Night Tease is every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. I know there are great shows coming up. Tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com/Monday Night Tease. There's also stuff at Facebook.com/Monday Night Tease. Tells you who's coming, who's going, who's been, who will be there. Check that out. Buy some tickets. Go and have a good time. I know our friend Ruben, like I said, is going to be in town. And I don't know if he's going to the Tease because he's going to hang out with me afterwards. I don't know. We'll see. But that is awesome. So go and check that out and have a good time, please, there at the thing. At the Monday Night Tease. I'm trying to hurry here. Can you tell? Still got to get a shower and get. Jill's going to kill me. She's not really going to kill me, but I mean, she did walk in yesterday and she goes, "I thought you finished the show." And I'm like, "I didn't. I'll do the rest in the morning." And she's just kind of like, she doesn't understand how I do things yet, or she understands how I do things and doesn't care for it. Who knows? But that's just the way it is with me. I'm either going to talk or I'm not. Because comedy, look, it can't be forced, folks. As we all know, it's not pretty, but it also can't be forced. You can't be funny just on command or demand. Bullshit. Actually, I can. I just don't command or demand myself to be funny right on time. I do it later, man. I put it off. That's who I am. Procrastinating funny guy. So that's the Monday Night Tease. Hey, go to Joe Business at the MikeSchmidtComedy.com. The Mike Schmidt. Go to. First of all, let me tell you about the live stuff. 2020 is August 15th. And that's me, Bill Dwyer, and Susanna Lee / Lucky Deluxe. I don't know what name she's going by, but I'll figure one out and get it pinned down for you. But it's me and Bill Dwyer and Susanna. That's August 15th. That's a Monday at 7 o'clock. Tickets are on sale now at Gold Star for $5. That's the link. You can put in 2020 or Mike Schmidt. I think it should come up. Or you can go to our, come to the door and pay there. Or you can go to to brownpapertickets.com and find 2020 and buy seats on there. It's a little pricier, but as if you can't find the Gold Star league, why not? But come on out and see Bill Dwyer. That guy's fucking hysterical. And I'm pretty good. And Susanna's fucking amazing. So it's going to be a great show. Live show. August 15th. That's a Monday night. Always the third Monday of every month. 2020 at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to the Joe Business page. We got all sorts of cool stuff there. We got dirt shirts. We got one mystery shirt left. We've got all the download sets, year 1 through year 7. Available. Steven, our friend Steven, who I'm seeing in New York, he actually bought the download set and he asked to see me in New York. Fucking cool, man. I'm looking forward to spending some time with him tomorrow because today's a travel day, and then the Mets. We're going to meet the Mets. We're not going to beat the Mets, but we're certainly going to meet the Mets. Perhaps we'll beat the Wiz over there, right? No, nobody beats the Wiz. So we've got Schmitty Comes Alive, Schmidt Alive 2, and Stop Making Schmidt. Those downloads are available. The live ones. We got the Big Angry CD. We got our relationship with tweakedaudio.com/40YOB. All of that stuff is available now at the Joe Business page. Please check it out. Buy it. Buy some cool stuff. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good time. And also the Amazon link is very important, as I've mentioned. Please use the Amazon link to buy all of the stuff there at our website. Click on the Amazon link and then click through our Amazon store, which I've not built yet, but get to regular Amazon, and our code is used, and it really, really helps the show. So thank you so much for doing that. You get stuff, they get stuff, we get stuff. It's a fucking arrangement that can't be beat. So please check out our Amazon link. That's pretty cool. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for using it all the time. Was there something else to tell you guys? Oh, I'll tell you the LA Podfest, Los Angeles Podfest. Remember, I'm going to be there. It's the show in September 24th, 23rd, 24th, 25th, or 24th, 25th, 26th, I think. No, 23rd, 24th, 25th. And I've got a time slot now. Hey, guys, Saturday night, 7 o'clock p.m. That's fucking prime time. Last year I was the first show of the festival. Another year I was on at noon. So this is fucking cool, man, to be on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Now, I will tell you this. I'm up against The Dollop, Dave Anthony's great show, and I'm up against the Crab Feast show with Ryan Sickler and Jay Larson, which I want to do eventually. I was kind of hoping to pitch myself as a guest and see their show, but it won't be happening because I'll be on stage at the same time they are. I know it's a Sophie's choice. You got to decide who to see and what to see, but if you guys come out and see me, that would be great. 7 o'clock on Saturday night at the festival. I will be there, and I'll be there, of course, all weekend, meeting people, hanging out, and doing that handshake thing and saying hi. Doing that handshake thing. I don't know what the fuck that means. A hand jive? Hi, I'm Willie. Be me and the hand jive. So come out and check out the show. If you buy tickets, go to their website and you can buy tickets there. You can use our code 40YOB, 40YOB. Also, if you buy the live streaming where you get to watch all the shows, then you have to fucking worry about me against the Dollop against Crab Feast. You can watch me live and watch them on tape, or watch them live and watch me on tape, whatever the fuck, because you'll have a month of access, I believe it is. Use my code 40YOB. And as I mentioned last week, anybody who uses my code, like our friend John Freeman, anybody who uses our code will have their. I will work their name somehow into the show, the live show at the Podfest. You got to send me proof though. Don't just say, "Hey, I used the code, duh." No, man, you got to send me proof that you used the code, and I'll work you in at some point. So use our code for 40YOB, and send me proof of it, and I'll work you into the fucking live show, because what the fuck am I going to talk about except you? So I think it's go to lapodfest.com and buy tickets there, live tickets and all those sorts of things. Come out and check us out. Be there and have fun. It's going to be fantastic. Also, remember, we are sponsored by MileIQ, mileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. Use that to keep track of all your miles, and it works well for your taxes if you decide you want to pay those. Who wants to pay those? I don't know. Maybe you do. But go to mileiq.com/invite/HFVHB and thank them for their sponsorship of the show. They don't really sponsor the show, but I get some money. If you want to be a Lyft driver, go and use my code Mike, MIKE 720057. And if you want to be an Uber driver, go to uber.com, become a driver, and use my code DJZW1YTTUE. That's DJZW1YTTUE. I know it's fucked up to have to write that down and use it, but if you want, you can send me a request, and I'll send it to you in print, then you can cut and paste it in there, whatever the fuck. I'm happy to help. I have a friend in Baltimore. I forget. He was going to do it. I don't know if he meets the quota. I don't know. But Uber is DJZW1YTTUE. Lyft is Mike 720057. That's MIKE 720057. And I want to take a second to ask you guys something. I don't know if you know this. About a month ago, Joe Rogan had a comedian named Mike Schmidt on his show. And a lot of people thought it was me, and they went crazy, and I talked about it on the show here, and they wrote me, and they were excited, and then they weren't excited because they found out it wasn't me, but I'm sure the other Mike Schmidt did a fantastic job. But the thing is, people, like I said, they wrote me, they thought I was going to be involved, I wasn't. But people who did write me, who didn't know who I was, I then wrote them back, and I said, listen, you can shun me when you realize I'm not the Mike Schmidt you had in mind, or you can realize there's more than one awesome Mike Schmidt in the world. I also have a podcast, maybe you'd like to listen. So I sent them the link. And like 5 of these people are on board. They wrote me, they go, great. And they wrote me and they said, man, this is funny. You're fucking great. So maybe that'll help me get on Joe. Who knows if they write Joe? I don't fucking know. But the bottom line is, I've had other people write me and they said, hey, are you on YouTube? Because if your podcast was on YouTube, it'd be easier for me to listen to. And I never even considered that. I just thought it was in iTunes and you could get it through the website at Art19, the hosting site, or through the RSS feed. But a couple of these people, I said, I don't know. I'm not on YouTube, but it sounds like something I should do, because they're like, hey, you're not on YouTube, but I found some clips of you and you sound pretty funny. You sound great. Because, our friend Todd Rush put up a clip, and our friend Stephen Bray put up a clip. So the late Stephen Bray, who we all miss. So yeah, I've never even considered it, but these people said that when they have Windows, they don't install iTunes on their machines because it adds a bunch of spam or whatever the fuck, and they don't like using iTunes with Windows, so they get all their podcasts from apps or from YouTube. And they said a lot of other shows put their shows on YouTube. Now, I didn't do the research on it. I just thought I'd come to you guys and ask you, do you do that? Does anybody here listen on YouTube to other shows, and do you think that would be easier for you guys to download? Because I'm all about making it easier for you guys to download, and also these new fucking people, I want to get them on board, so I want to make sure that it's easy for them to access the show. And look, I can't make a decision on my own. I think we all know that. And with Lily not here this week, you guys are all Lily. You're the collective consciousness. You're the beehive. I'm shooting out the bees, and you're catching them. You're the hives, man. Do you want to scrape my honey out of YouTube, or you want to just get it right through your fucking iTunes through your earbuds? I don't know the choices, but I guess that's a thing, and I don't know how to do it. I don't know the first fucking thing. I'm sure Gio will be able to step up and tell me how, or maybe if I Googled it, like I did when I did the interlude, and I figured out how to patch fucking the YouTube through and record it directly onto the machine, I could probably do it. Why am I even asking you guys a fucking thing? Forget I even brought it up, okay? I don't even know why I'm talking to you guys. I guess I want to know if you guys consume anything on YouTube and you think that would be a good thing, but then I think about the nightmare of putting 400 shows up on YouTube, but that also makes sense, but then would I still sell download sets? And I've already talked about possibly giving away. You want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail. Get on a plane. And then come back and revisit it 2 days later. Because that's the most important stew in the universe. Was there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see.